camera, that. Master must be really trying to get the decorating done.
What?
It's not like him to miss ACC, is it? I went on he raced on Motive on a Wednesday night. I went on Motive's thing, see if Mazda were there. And no Maz. No, I think he wants to get it. I think he's wanting to get out of Hernandez and into his place. Yeah, possibly so. No, end of this month. End of this month. Master was saying to us the other day, he says I might miss 2 weeks, which would have been last week and this week, but he managed to make last week because of the decorating. Then he's like back for 2, and then he might miss 2 because she's giving birth again.
30th of June it would do, won't it?
Around the 30th of June, yeah. Well, last one was Christmas Day, wasn't it?
I didn't know this.
Go on.
Turn 12 to 14 is meant to be reminiscent of Hockenheim Stadium section, the triple apex section. It turns from 16 to 18, modelled after the Istanbul track.
So that long right-hander is the Istanbul track, yeah?
Yeah.
And then the bit before that is the Hockenheim bit.
Yeah.
I actually see that now when you look at the track map. I actually see that.
Nine US circuits have previously hosted the Grand Prix: Sebring, Riverside, Hopkins Glen, Phoenix, Dallas, Detroit, Las Vegas, Long Beach, and recently Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
I was watching a video about it today. From you remember the Grand Prix that had 6 cars in it?
Yeah.
Turns out Bridgestone had been quite canny in their tactics.
All right.
They had the Indy 500 was 2 weeks before the Grand Prix was meant to be there, and Bridgestone owned Firestone. So Bridgestone had gathered all the tyre information from the Indy 500 from Firestone and made a more durable tyre, whereas Michelin didn't have that information to them. And hence, so when Michelin was like, we don't know what is wrong with that tyre, everything says it should be fine, but obviously because they didn't realise the tyre deg was more, they couldn't solve a problem. So when Ralf Schumacher had his crash and then everybody retired to the pits on a Michelin tyre and everybody bought the Bridgestones, it was because Bridgestone had the information from the Indy 500 to say that it was going to be a more higher tyre deg sort of race and built a tyre for that race.
This is all we got tonight.
No, Little Leach is in. Stovslot's not here. There's no Bozzy, there's no Keegs.
Where the fuck is Dean?
Dean's on the toilet, he's just texted me. And Leon is the other question, but I am going to start in a moment. Leon not even online, so good for him. Well done. Leon Fernie. So if we have 15 drivers with 6 people missing, Leon, Dean, Bozzy, Stealth, Keegs. Who's the other one? Leon, Liam, Keegs, Dean, Stealth.
Bozzy.
No, I've said Bozzy. Aiden.
Who's probably not going to fucking turn up at all.
Yep. The minute we can get somebody to replace him, he will be gone. What time is it? Let's just fucking get it started. Fuck it. We're running a bit behind. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Simplay Motorsport. Here's for round 7 and 8 of the Pro Am Championship. I'm Matthew Duffin, and once again joining in the commentary box is my partner in crime on Orthodubs himself, Dan Davis. Dan, how are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you, Matthew. How are yourself?
Very well, thank you, Dan. We're here across the pond over the Atlantic in America, Circuit of the Americas in Dallas, Texas. And it proves to be a very, very hot track and a difficult circuit in the practice we've seen in the week this week. These drivers are in for a very tough task. Dan, COTA we've seen quite a lot of now in the Formula 1. We've seen it a bit now in the GT3s. What are we expecting tonight?
Well, here at COTA, we can expect drama. Luckily, no Gary 131 tonight, so we can't expect too much of a big incident into turn 1. That's the main thing that we are happy to note. But there's all sorts of elements here that COTA can produce some great racing as well. She goes through the Maggots and Beckett section, which is also, Matthew, what I've also recently found out. It's also got a little bit of Interlagos involved. Attributing to the Senna S towards that section as well. Up from turn 2 to turn 3 is the Senna S, but then heads into Maggots and Beckett. But COTA is going to be an interesting night's worth of racing, and more importantly, Matt, the weather is the main thing to be keeping an eye on tonight. It's Dubai type of weather here this evening. Clear skies, beautiful sunshine here in the US of Austin, Texas. But track temp is very, very hot tonight.
Very, very hard. And this is providing the tricky task for the drivers, is there is no option other than the hard tyre. Has to be the hard tyre all the way. The difficult thing is that Maggots, Beckett, Senna S type section and the Turkey type section that Welshie will be coming round to in just a moment. That is what the drivers face tonight. COTA then, as Dan's pointed out, Senna S as Maggots, Beckett, so I've just said about Istanbul, was built as a track that had a bit of everything from the best F1 tracks in the world kind of put together as one. So it arguably should bring us for some great races because it's the best parts of every circuit on the F1 calendar. A lot of criticism comes of this track from fans, but at the same time, it is a tricky, challenging track, Dan.
It is definitely a challenging track for sure. Like you said, it takes most of the elements of every F1 circuit that is out there. And also I want to say a very good evening to everybody in the chat right now. As there is a current vote out for who do you think is going to take pole position here this evening. But this track is a love-hate relationship to a lot of people. It's the first time the F1 came back to the US in a very, very long time since they last went to Indianapolis after the tyre controversy?
Controversy, fiasco, whatever you want to call it.
Basically where Michelin messed up. And we've never seen Michelin back in F1 since. But nonetheless, we are here at COTA for an interesting night of racing. Texas is another beautiful state, and very much they love their racing here. And we've got some great racing here this evening for the Pro Am boys in the GT3s. But it's definitely going to be a tricky track for most. And I think the majority of the grid that I've spoken to absolutely detest this track after this week's of testing. I'm pretty sure, man, you're one of them. Yeah,
I am one of them. Just going through the lap record, Dan, if I may, and you will love the car that has set the lap record. An absolute beauty of a car. Shelby Blackstock in the 2020 First Austin GT World Challenge America round of a 2:05.5 is the GT3 lap record of this circuit. Done in none other than an Acura NSX GT3. Who'd have thunk it? Hey?
A what? What?
You know the Pro-Am winning car from last year? That beast. The beast that Smithy carried me in is the lap record here in the GT3s.
That's got to be wrong, surely. It can't be right.
Well, GT America, there is a lot of Acuras in the GT America series, so that's possibly more right than it's saying GT World Challenge or the British GT, or obviously our GT, where we don't see an Acura or a Honda at all. Either way, no Acuras out there tonight. The goats dropped the Acura. I'm not here to drive the Acura, and everybody else, Ginettas, Lamborghinis, Audis, Mercedes-Benz. Are they going to get near that 2:05.5? That is an impressive lap time because I've not seen a lot of people get into the 2:05s. You're the only exception at this moment that I've seen in the 2:05s as of yet. But as we saw last week, a lot can happen when you have a good slipstream. You can be you can surprise yourself and do a fantastic lap. The poll is out at the moment, though, for who you think is going to take pole position. That'll remain open for the whole of practice and into a bit of qualifying, so make sure you get your votes in, and don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you are new, and hit the bell to be notified when we are live. As we say, a very good evening to Holty and to PM Motorsport, Smithy in the chat, Peaceful Explosion, aka Mike Matthews, Shane Bembridge, who is our new driver tonight, Dan, replaces Shenron in the Super Crash Bros Audi and is making his debut.
He is making his debut, and as the lead steward, I've already given a little bit of a spanking before he comes in, just to make sure he does abide by the rules and make sure he listens to everything that us stewards have to say. And yeah, it's going to be exciting to see how he gets on this evening. Obviously, Shenron obviously failing and not able to complete the season, and allows Shane to then show what he's able to do. And with a teammate like Bryn, who's had a phenomenal season so far, the first 3 rounds have really gone Bryn's way. You can really learn from him and really pick it up. And this Audi as well, what we've also been learning, Matt, is what we think is going on. We reckon that this Audi is a summer season car.
Yeah. We worked it out the other night. We went through it the other night. We looked back at Liam and Jamie and Bryn when Bryn was last in the Audi, and you look at Liam's best result was a podium at Dubai, very warm conditions. Bryn's best result in the Audi in Pro Am, Bathurst, in the summertime of Bathurst as well, very warm conditions. You look at Jamie, did well in it in the summer conditions, in the warmer conditions when it was cooler, didn't seem to have the pace. And you look at Bryn again here, and you look at Little Leach as well. Coming into the summertime, this Audi is coming on stronger and stronger, Dan.
It is indeed, and it's not just obviously the normal Audi, it's the 24 Audi as well. This is what Bryn and Shane are running, the 24 version. While Little Leach and Smithy, you can tell by the difference in the lights, really. They're driving the standard Audi R8 GT3 car, but Shane and Bryn are running the 24-hour. By the colour of the front lights, they are yellow, and that's standard. And I believe the reason for them being yellow is so that you can tell when in the night races what's in what category. So the GT3s run the yellow light and the LMPs run the white light. So that you're able to signify which is which. And the man with the pace at the minute is Ukbar in that Ginetta. And as most people will know in the chat, that most of us do a lot of practice most evenings. And practice evenings that we have had, this man has been on top.
He has been on top, and he's looked very, very quick, mixing it with the front, or some front runners of Pro Am, of Pro, should I say, as he goes an extra second quicker and is into the 206s. But this is practice. This means nothing at the minute. And we speak of Ukbar every week, Dan, and we speak of Ukbar all the time, saying how good a driver he is, how quick he is, but at times comes into his own mistakes or gets caught out by other people's mistakes. With this pace tonight, you look at him 2.5 seconds quicker at this man Holty. Ukbar tonight, you really feel has a great chance of making some places and really sort of putting his stamp on this championship this year.
Yeah, definitely. So Holty needs to get back into the groove, and I think I thought I'd have a little play and mess around with different cars in the week just to see what people are experiencing and driving. And I gave them the Mercedes a go after a long time since partnering up with Fury was the last time I gave it a go. And I hated it then, and I still hate it. But nonetheless, it is an interesting beast to handle. And what I recently learned is that it's quite easy to learn to drive, actually. But,
not the hardest car to learn to drive, but one of the easiest to overdrive.
Oh, definitely so. And I think as well, to get the hard tyres to work, you do need to work the car. You really have to put it under pressure to make the hard tyres work. But obviously, with the conditions that we got here this evening, I don't think you need to really work it that hard, because those tyres will be up to temperature in no time. Would you like to know a couple more facts about this circuit, Matthew?
Dan, I'd love you to tell me some more facts about this circuit.
So this circuit is designed by a German circuit designer called Hermann Tinkel. I'm going to go by that.
Which Tinkel, I believe does most of the F1 tracks.
Well, I will tell you what else he's designed. He's designed Sepang, Shanghai, Yas Marina, Istanbul, Bahrain, and most other circuits as well. This also circuit has been taking so many different variations of F1 racetracks. A couple in mind is obviously you go up to turn 1 and 2 would be Interlagos. Down towards 4, 5, and 6 is Silverstone. And then you've got the traditional hairpin sections, long back straight, which is Shanghai. And then obviously down towards the slower section of the sector, like Sector 3 onwards is Hockenheim and Istanbul Park as well. So there's so many variations of some of the world's greatest circuits at this track. And I'll tell you what, even though we've got these amazing circuits, it does produce very, very difficult overtaking opportunities.
It does indeed. So it is going to be a fascinating one to keep our eyes on as we go into this race a little later on and tomorrow night. 10 cars currently out there. We hope we can get some more out there. We're expecting Stove Sloth and Leon Fernie won't be able to make it. Neither will Lucas Roth or that Bozzy Boy. We have lost Kraft from the championship. Aidan Bennett, hopefully he can start to get in as well. But I've just managed, Dan, while he was telling us all that, reorganise the championships, because obviously one of the new rules for this year to try and encourage drivers to get to the end of the season was, if you pull out the season, you lose every constructor, you lose every point you have scored. So that has really hurt Shane coming into this seat and hurt his teammate Bryn even more, because the Super Crash Bros lose the 30 points that Shenron originally had scored. So the championships are as follows. Little Leach leads the way, 9 points clear of this man Bryn, who's having a phenomenal season at the moment compared to last season. Little Leach, we expect him to be up there, but 9 points clear of Bryn, I don't think anybody expected that. Lucas Roth, currently P3, he's not here tonight, and last night nearly got his first win in the touring cars, nearly got his first win overall, but again, it slipped away from him. Holty is P4, some 48 points off the championship lead, so really needs a good night to rein in some points over Little Leach. Next up, Welshie, P5, and many expected Welshie to be a top 5 contender this year, knocking on that door of promotion. He is on 63 points, a point behind Holty. Ukbar is in 6th place, 3 points behind Welshie. With this pace at the minute, you really feel that Ukbar has a chance here. Stealth Sloth is in 7th place, having a great season himself. Not here though, on 58 points. 2 points behind him is this man, JM Grill, in P8. Tied with JM Grill is Dean Wasocki on 56 points, who by his standards will really, based off last season, will really want to get himself fighting up for that top 5 fight at the end of the season. DJ Phil is then in 10th place on 42, with Smithy on 30. That Bozzy Boy on 7 after his Sakito dramas and not been able to make Imola or tonight due to work. Shenron then obviously on nothing. Leon Fernie has raced 4-5 races this season, not scored a single point through retirements. Aidan Bennett not been here yet, and Shane obviously on no points due to just starting tonight. Pick a Mix Motorsport then have a 2-point lead over Teletubby Motorsport going into this one, but Teletubby Motorsport hurt with no Lucas Roth. MC Motorsport now going to 3rd place, 21 points off the back of Pick a Mix, with Super Crash Bros dropping from 3rd to 4th. What was 9 points behind is now 39 points behind, as they are just a bit behind the Pick and Mix boys. Terminal Velocity Racing are a point behind Super Crash Bros, with My Mate Racing P6, Getting Quicker My Mate in P7, and All Sports Racing down in 8th. Dan takes on a lap of Ukbar.
Here we are at the Circuit of the Americas. We head to a turn 1. The very daunting turn 1. It rises 133 feet up towards turn 1 and heads towards the Interlagos section into turn 1. You can take a late entry and get a good exit. I'm heading downhill towards turn 2. 20 corners here, and there's so many to negotiate. Turn 2, you want to stay away from that curb. The car become unsettled. These curbs here into 3, 4, 5, and 6. Maggots and Beckett's. The curbs here are lethal. All the guys have been trying their best to try and set the cars up to make sure they can run the curves, but none of the cars seem to be very happy. Into 7 and 8, very, very slow section as Ukbar just touches one of the curves. He is 2/10 up, and into a more slower section now. The car is struggling. It's not able to keep up as he goes through 9, heading down to 10. You can take as much curve as you like. Remember, the curves are the limits of the circuit. White lines when they're not there. Braking into 11. And making sure you get your car stopped and get a good exit. Acceleration and good drive out of 11 is key, so you can have a great run down the Shanghai back straight. And if you've got a slow car, you want to be making sure that you're using a tow through here, as there's plenty of opportunities as they head down towards turn 12, 13 and 14. And the car, we want to make sure it's coming to a nice gradual stop as it hits the brake just before the shadow there. And you want to go through this kind of just over 90-degree corner and heading towards turn 13, 14. And again, it's very difficult to get this right. You want to clip that inside curve. You want to get as close as you can to the next curve of turn 14, heading to 15 into the kind of Hockenheim-style stadium section and get a good drive out of 16 towards the Istanbul 17, 18, and 19 corners. Get a good run through Ukbar, just a little bit cautious on the throttle, keeping the Ginetta under control. Into turn 19, very easy to overshoot. Most F1 cars do. Ukbar gets it turned in, beautiful slide through there, and then heads towards the final corner, turn 20, a good apex run into corner. Make sure you get a good exit as well, and you head towards the line. And if you are as successful as Ukbar, you'll be able to do a 2:06:04. The GT3s here go right up to the line, and Ukbar does improve even more with a 2:06:1. And I'll tell you what, Matt, if that continues on for Ukbar, he will be looking very good here this evening. Could he be like Lewis Hamilton and get a couple of race wins here at the Circuit of the Americas, who I believe Lewis Hamilton is the most successful driver here at the Circuit of the Americas?
I believe he is. I believe he's got 5 or 6 wins here, and then he had the final race win at Indianapolis to make him the most successful driver, I believe, in America, on American soil as well, to add to his tally. Dan, this COTA track, one of many American circuits that we have visited over this season, or over the past. Watkins Glen last year. We had Road America earlier this year. We come back to America for Daytona, our regular trip to Daytona, back on the calendar later in the year. But COTA's something different. One reason we can use the online championship mode, because there's actual garages at this circuit, meaning the drivers do have time that if they do get disconnected, they can get back in at the very end of qualifying. They don't have that 2-minute window. Dean moving up into second place at the end of that lap with a 2:07.6, so not bad from him at the minute, ahead of this man JM Grill, then Holty, Littleach, Bryn Welsh, Smithy, Shane, and then DJ Phil well off the pace at the moment. If this carries on at this rate, Ukbot, if he's on for that pole position, will take his 10th pole position of his career here at Simplay Motorsport, and will put himself tied with me in that 7th place spot on 10 pole positions each. For the Ginetta, though, for the Ginetta to take another pole position, it will be its 17th pole position at Simplay Motorsport and its 10th pole position in the Pro Am. All 10 set by Ukbar if he can take pole position tonight. The 7 set in Pro was by Andy a couple of seasons ago. If Ukbar can go on to win, it will be the Ginetta's 4th win and its 2nd win in Pro Am. So not many wins to its name, Dan, but a chance for Ukbar to just up himself in that qualifying statistics and get that Ginetta a bit closer to the McLaren on the pole position statistics.
Yeah, definitely. So it's all well and good being very quick in qualifying, but you know and I know that all the points are scored in the race. But nonetheless, Ukbar is showing very good pace, and the thing that these guys have really got to focus on tonight is these tyres and the temperatures here at COTA, with it being the middle of summer as well. Oh, well, we're now going into the summer, now into June, the 1st of June here this evening, and these guys are going to have to be controlling those tyres. We reckon there could be a heat cycle where the tyres will become really hot and want to lose grip, but then they will come back. So it's all about being patient. Very much a couple of times throughout previous seasons, we raced at Dubai, and the same thing has happened. We even had it at Catalonia a couple of seasons ago. So it's all about preserving those tyres, looking after them, because if they look after you, they will look after you towards the end of the race.
Indeed, they will. And you have to say that if you can get them to the start, you will be absolutely laughing if you can get them to last at the start. We reckon, from what I did the other day, it's about a 4 to 5 lap window very early on that these tyres will go through that heat cycle. So if you can look after them, you've got an opportunity of really sort of making it work. It's how you look after them, though, is the key. Littleach has just moved himself up into P3, 1.7 off the back of Ukbar and 0.3 off the back of Dean Wysocki at this moment in time. But again, like you say, Dan, it isn't about the fastest laps with a minute and a half left here. Then I want to talk about qualifying. We go into qualifying in just a moment's time, and it's a 2-minute 5 lap, let's say, very fast 2-minute 5 lap, and that's a very fast time set by a very fast car, which was the Acura. That's not a lot of time to mess about out lap, quick lap, pit to do another one. That's half your session gone in an out lap and a fast lap. What's the tactic going into qualifying from your point of view?
There'd be 2 main things that I'd be looking to do, really. Obviously, the first thing you want to do is get a banker. You want something to kind of be like, right, that's on the board, and it's got to be an easy lap to start off. You don't have to go mad. If it was like changeable conditions, then you would have to step up the ante. But we had this last night in the touring cars. It's a similar situation. It took us 2 minutes to about 1 minute 55 to get around Stetson 300 in our cars. So we didn't have much time for qualifying either. So it's all about getting that banker lap in first. And at that point, you then decide you need to find time to improve. And if you do think you want to come in at the very last minute, you do have to be prepared that you're going to have to nail it on lap one. You could do a preparation lap where some of the drivers are looking after the tyres as they go into the qualifying session. They take their first out lap to be very smooth and easy, so when they then do hit it, it's not overheated. The tyres are at their best, but others tend to like a loose car, so they'll push it a bit harder. If it was me, I'd be nursing those tyres a little bit for the first one. Get a banking lap that's solid, and it's a good lap time that you can produce, and then from that point you can work with how fast you go. But if I was them, I would be mainly looking at maybe 1 or 2 laps and come in, refresh the car, don't let it overheat, don't let the tyres overheat, and just keep refreshing those tyres because they are going to burn out very quickly.
They are indeed. James Grill puts himself into P3 as drivers coming to the end of their laps, and no Stealth Sloth in the session at the moment, so we hope he can get in for the race. As at the moment he will be missing out and will miss out on quite a lot of points. And it's funny how 3 Scottish drivers are missing tonight's race at the moment. 4 Scottish drivers are missing tonight's race. Ukraine are beating Scotland, so I hope it's worth missing the race for at this moment in time then. So we will leave the poll open for a little bit more of qualifying. So far, the poll is going the way of Ukbar in this one. No votes for Bryn or Holty, and it is Ukbar who takes the quickest time in this practice session. But practice is one thing, the race is qualifying is another, and it's about who gets out there first. Track position key round here, Dan?
Nah, I wouldn't say so. I would say you want a bit of clear air, but because the track is so big, so long, you can get that opportunity to maybe get a little bit of toe, but it's not really worth it as such. So I think the track's big enough. With only 10 cars as well, we should be all right with that. And yeah, I think track position is kind of pointless, really. You can get out there, find a good section to kind of get into a window where you can focus on yourself. But I think the only real section you'll really struggle with is probably Maggotts and Beckett's section. Turn 4, 5, and 6 is where they'll probably struggle.
As Welchie then the first car out from Bryn, from Dean, from Shane. So everybody's starting to filter out now, and we're going to start to see drivers on track very, very fast and getting their lap times and their preparation laps in. Now, you said about taking a steady lap. Look at Bryn here. Is he just letting Welchie get away, or is he just having a bit of a steady lap to maybe give himself a couple of runs with his tyres? We said the tyres go through a heat phase early on. Interesting to see what the tactics are going to be from the drivers. This is Bryn just taking it steady, look. He's even going to allow Dean Wysocki to go past. So Bryn really sort of having a steady outlap here. Welchie and Dean and Shane with the looks, things looking like they want to get on with it. So an interesting tactic, Dan, from Bryn early on.
Yeah, I think Welshie's doing the same. I think both of these boys aren't in any rush. Welchie a little bit quicker, I reckon. I think Bryn's taking a little bit too much at the minute. But he's going to lose track position at some point, and he's going to lose time as well. I say track position isn't that important, but at the same time, you don't want to be caught napping by another car, especially if you're taking it easy. If you're taking it easy, someone could take advantage, throw it down the inside, as our beautiful and fantastic sponsor just drops a message in the chat, Audio Sport Hire, as he is in the chat right now, Kelly. And if you do like what you see, then hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and have a look at our sponsors as well, as they do some fantastic stuff on there. And yeah, it's Bryn, I think, is just taking it a little bit too easy, maybe put up a little bit more pace. But nonetheless, it's interesting what they're wanting to do. Welchie a little bit more tamed, I think. As you can see, he's just cruising a little bit through the Istanbul section. You've
got to say for Welchie here, and a little bit for Dean as well just behind. They've got a great part of the track where it's clear. Welchie's not too close to Dean. Dean's not too close to anybody else. They've got a clear run, so if they mess up, it's their mistake. Is that what Bryn's maybe trying to do? Maybe he came out in a bit of traffic, was a bit too close to Welchie, had Dean too close behind him, wants that bit more clear run, and he's deciding to let everybody go. That's the interesting thing then. Welchie will be the first driver to start a flying lap, though, and at a 2:06 lap is the quickest we've seen in practice. What can Welchie do in this Lamborghini? Then it'll be Dean from Shane setting the lap times as they cross the line. There is DJ Phil, lights on. Is he on the wheel or the pad? That's a big question tonight, because DJ Phil probably a bit quicker on the pad than the wheel at the moment. The other one is Smithy as well. Is he pad or wheel? Bryn has decided to get on with it, and I think James Grill was the last man on track. So I think Bryn is the penultimate car.
Was the last car on track. So it'll go Welchie, Dean, Shane, DJ Phil, all these guys in this order. Holty, I believe, is after DJ Phil. You can hear the Ginetta just in the background. with Little Leach just behind him as well. Little Leach, just like he took Maggotts and Beckett's a lot better than Holty did.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Holty has gone round. Smithy taking a lot of track limits there as he goes through. As Bryn also just on the back of Smithy. Sounds like contact there with Smithy and Holty just as they go past. Holty trying to get right out the way. And who's just behind him? JM Grill is then the penultimate car at the back of the order. And Ugbar, the man that everyone reckon who's going to take pole position here tonight, he is currently at the back of this pack. He can see what everyone is going to do lap-wise. But it will be Welshie who sets the pace here. And he's got quite a decent gap going into Sector 1, actually. He's got quite a distance away from Dean. So Welshie got enough fuel as well. Like the current characteristics of this Lamborghini, the more fuel it has, the more stable. It may not be fast, but it's a lot more stable.
Well, Welshie compared to Dean was 5 tenths down in Sector 1, but has gained 2 tenths back in that middle sector. Ukbar is purple Sector 1, though, and is the quickest man in it. The only man through Sector 1 in the 32s. In this qualifying session at the minute. Nobody getting near Welsh's second sector so far. He's even quicker than Little Leach. Ukbar, obviously, though, yet to come through. We are starting to see some more times come through. We expect Holty's first sector was terrible, 10 seconds down. His middle sector's not great either. And Ukbar does go nearly a second quicker than Welshie, but Welshie will put the first lap time on the board. Ukbar quicker than Welshie nearly by a second in Sector 2. Welshie sets the bar of a 2:08.1. That's not a bad banker lap for Welshie then. What can this man Dean Wasaki do? Was quicker in Sector 1, slower in Sector 2. What is he going to be in Sector 3? Does this give him a chance to go above Welshie? No, 7 tenths down. Shane on his first qualifying. What's he going to do? Is DJ Phil right in that slipstream? That'll be open the Ginetta. Shane a 2:12, DJ Phil a 2:11, so not bad from them two. Here comes Smithy then, the next man to set a time, and then it'll be Bryn. Little Leach has gone third, but has gone straight back to the pits. Smithy to the line. Anything from him? He goes... in fact, he hasn't set a lap time, so no time from Smithy there. Bryn, though, goes P5. Holty to the line. This will be a slow one. And look at Ukbar's time, down a 2:06.2 straight away in the pits, as is Shane and Little Leach. So already Ukbar setting the pace.
I think Smithy might have potentially tapped Holty. And obviously, if you make contact with another car in qualifying, it deletes your time. It kind of counts as like contact with a wall or any contact with another vehicle. It then deletes that lap time as he's got pressure from Bryn behind him now. Bryn really giving him the hurry up as Bryn's found 7 tenths. So that first easy lap really hasn't benefited Bryn here. He's now stuck in traffic behind Smithy, and Smithy's still not set a lap time. He's wanting to put a lap time down. He's not going to want to get out of Bryn's way, for sure. No,
he's not going to want to get out of Bryn's way, and Bryn could possibly use him down this back straight. Welshie, though, 6 tenths down on his current lap at the moment. Looks like he's had a bit of a poor Sector 1 time. Dean... again, a decent Sector 1 time compared to the rest. He's in the 32s through Sector 1, like Ukbar was. Not as quick as Ukbar, though, for Dean Wasaki. So is Dean going to try and jump ahead of Welshie? Good qualifying, though, for Welshie. Shane's still in the pits. He looks like his little dot on the track map looks like it's coming out. He's going to want to get a brilliant lap in here. Ukbar and Little Leach come out the pits as well. They're on another lap. Even into Peaceful Stepdad and the Evil Scotsman in the chat as well. But here comes Welshie then into the final corner. 6 tenths down we saw at Sector 2. Any time has he gained through this final sector? Will he improve on his lap time and get closer to Ukbar? Long run to the line. No, he doesn't. 1.3 down. This man then, he'll want to jump Welshie and get off that and get onto that front row of the grid. Currently on row 2. Can he get above Welshie? Yes, he can. And within 1.2 seconds now of Ukbar, DJ Phil, the next man to set a time, he'll be looking interested in terms of getting a bit higher up than 7th place. Currently 5.6 off the back. He needs 1.6 to get near Bryn. Doesn't improve there. It is Bryn who's got past Smithy, and JM Grill's now on the back of Smithy. So can Bryn improve on his time here? A 2:10 was his first lap, gets to lap 2, and he does improve to a 2:09.9. Smithy goes up to P9, and JM Grill up into P3 by 1,000th of a second from Welshie.
And Holty's just improved as well. He's gone P7. So all these guys starting to put in some decent lap times as Little Reach comes into the final corner to start his flying lap. This will be his one and only last shot. So the guys in the pits, JM Grill, also DJ Phil, all won't get their final lap times in. So Little Leach crosses the line, and this will be his last attempt. Also, the same for Ukbar. Their outlaps are done. They said their final preparations for this qualifying session. 11 of you have voted here, and I believe it's going the way of Ukbar. And it is 45% of Ukbar reckons you guys are going to think that he's going to take pole position. He is in the pound seat right now. Little Leach, who's going to take second with 36% of you thinking it's going to be here. Bryn and Holty with 9% each. These two, he's going to keep an eye on these two. Little Leach and Ugbar, because their lap times are going to be very, very quick towards the end of this. But Welshie is going to be the first man once again to come towards the line, as I believe there's actually a car in the middle.
I think that's Shane, who might just get one. He's going to get one lap in here as well. So Smithy in the pits, Holty in the pits, James Grill in the pits. DJ Phils came out the pits, but he is done. So for Shane here, has a chance to try and improve on that lap time and maybe demote Smithy to the back of the pack for this first race. But Welshie will also get one final run in on his time here. Dean Wasocki might be lucky as well, and I think them two might be the last two to get another run in. So these two might have the best of the conditions at the end. Ugbar, purple sector 1, yet again here. Here comes Welshie to the line though. Is he going to improve on his current 4th place? No, 2.8 down now, so Welshie struggling once again. What about Dean Wasocki? Has he found any more time as he comes to the line? Currently on the front row, might want to just up himself, although Jem Grill is in the pits. No time for Dean Wasocki there then. I think it's Bryn, the next car. It is Bryn, and Bryn will get one more run at this as well. Oh, and that's going to compromise him.
Good. Yeah, not good there. Just a little too much power, a little too much turning, and the car just did not want to handle it whatsoever. But towards the line, does he improve? No, he will get one more lap. There's one car on track. That is Little Leach. He is going to be the first of the final runners here. And I believe DJ Phil won't get a lap in. This is it. Everyone's on their last laps, and Little Leach, this is it. He's in 5th place. Can he get that Audi any higher this evening? As he comes towards the line, Little Leach in P5. What does he do?
Wow, goes P2. So a great lap at the end from Little Each here. Dean needs 0.2 of a second. What can this man do? Can he improve on his time? Currently a second quicker than anybody else. He's probably not going to be beaten. He does. He goes into the 205s with a 205.9. Ugbar flying. Phil back into the pits as he is done. So the next car on track is whoever is in front of Holty. I'm sure Holty was in the pits, so I don't think he'll get a lap in either. And it is Dean Wasocki. Welshie has retired to the pits. So is Shane. So Shane will start his first race in P10.
He's not too far off the pace, though. He's not too far off the pace. He's obviously...
Dean.
Just as Dean's dropped it, that won't be him improving on that lap. So it is really now down to... it's not Little Leach on track. It's down to Bryn to set his final lap time here. So Holty on a kind of exploratory lap here. Can Bryn hook up a lap time to get ahead of Welshie, JM Grill, and Dean? He's a little bit slidey going through the final few sectors here. Through the sector he goes. He's 300s up. He needs more than that to get past Welshie. He needs a second, pretty much a whole second to get past him. But at this stage, Bryn, he needs to hook up this final sector, and we know there's time in the final corner.
Needs 1.7 seconds to get himself up over Welshie. Holty's coming to the line. I'm sure Holty was on an outlap here because his sector times aren't that great. At all, so I'm sure he's on an outlap. Maybe just tweak something for the race. We will see though if he does change his lap time. No improvement there. So Holty does stay in 7th place. But Bryn then needs to find more. Was 300s up coming through that middle sector after a poor exit last time round. He got the exit better this time round. Currently P6. Will he improve on that 6th place? 1.7 seconds needed. He didn't get it. Stays P6 according to my phone. Did improve on his time though, but stays P6. So Bryn there, a little disappointed maybe, but did find 0.9 of a second in the end. But it is Ugbar then, another pole position for that Ginetta from Little Each. Dean Wasocki back down to the second row in an all Mercedes row 2 with JM Grill. Welshie and Bryn will occupy row 3, row 4 will be Holty and DJ Phil, and Smithy and Shane on row 5. Dan, your prediction for this race win?
Oh, it's going to be a difficult one for sure, because it's going to be such an unpredictable race. Are these guys able to have they practiced the heat cycle? Have they learned what the cars and the tyres are going to do? That is the question. I'm going to go with Little Leach for experience.
Little Leach for experience. I'm going to go JM Grill.
Oh.
Yes, I'm going to go James Grill.
One of us going for Ugbar here. I think the reason we haven't gone for Ugbar is because either one of us has ever gone for Ugbar has always managed to curse him. So the Flying Dutchman, can he get a win under his bag without any of us predicting him for the race win? Guys, get your votes in, or you think you're just going to take the win for this round, as we are here for round 7 of the Pro Am GT3 Championship here at Simply Motorsport. And if you do like what you see here, then please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell to be notified. And have a look at our Discord as well and our Facebook page. Get involved with the chat as well, and all the local gossip of all the racing that's going on. Not just obviously sim racing, but also with the actual world live racing with F1, IndyCar. You name it, we talk about anything and everything, but the main thing we talk about is the touring cars. That's what we're specialised in. But here, GT3's COTA, Circuit of the Americas, round 7. Let's go.
Let's go, indeed. Evening to Kieran Argent in the chat, and a very good evening to Peaceful Step Dad. Then evening, Kieran saying, a shame there isn't a full grid. It is a shame 4 Scottish drivers missing tonight due to the Scotland game being on. I reckon that has a lot to do with why there's a few drivers to miss tonight. Mike Matthews in the chat. If Uqbar gets a clean start, it's his to lose with that pace. Oh dear. You remember that jinx that we said no one vote for Uqbar because it might put it every time someone seems to do it? Well, Mike has gone that way, and people are going that way in the vote in the chat. But we have 3 red lights here at COTA, and it is green and go. Look at Bryn, got a great start behind JM Grill. Welshie as well gets away well. Dean Wysocki heading up past Little Leach. Uqbar already defending that inside line as they all pile into turn 1. Looks pretty clean so far as they all get a bit close here. Bryn, JM Grill and Welshie, but all relatively clean. Uqbar was a little wide, and this has allowed an invitation for Dean Wysocki up the inside, around the outside as JM Grill, Welshie and Bryn go 3 abreast, and Dean attacking Uqbar up front. Holty's picked up a place there as well, and look at them all piling through and getting the S's horribly wrong. But Dean now has backed right out of Uqbar, and Uqbar can get away nice and easy. Bryn then in 5th place has Holty all over the back of him, with Welshie and Little Leach hounding the back of Dean Wysocki at this moment in time. We are all, though, Dan, through the S's nice and cleanly.
We are. Don't curse them just yet, but we are through the S's, and most of them having to take to the escape routes, which was a sensible idea. They don't want to avoid getting penalties, as Little Leach sends it into turn 1, and my cameraman is terrible, but he manages not to make contact with Dean Wysocki. Little Leach is very known for having to send it every now and then, but Dean's managed to survive that one as well. She's trying to stick onto the back of Little Leach, but Little Leach in that Audi seems to have a drag on the Mercedes, and Dean probably carrying a lot more downforce than he probably wanted. But all these guys are underway, and Little Leach sends it down into the left-hander, and he looks like he's going to get chopped down. Well, she comes up behind and tags the back of Dean there. Yeah, no drama's done. Maybe a bit of aero damage on the front of Welshie's car, but Dean very wisely knew that Little Leach was up the inside, break that bit earlier to try and maybe get a cutback on Little Leach. Here is Smithy then. P7 at the minute with Holty in 6th place. He's ahead of DJ Phil, JM Grill. That is a Dean Wysocki that's very wide, and Welshie, Bryn, Holty, Smithy have all gone through. JM Grill looks like he's had a problem in the background with DJ Phil. They was together at one stage. They may have both had a coming together because Shane picks up 2 places, and Dean was second at the end of the start of lap 1. He's going to end it down in P7, and he's got work to do as Holty has a look up the inside of Bryn and just gets it stopped at the final corner. But Uqbar, Dan, 1.6 in the lead. He's checked out at the end of lap 1. Yeah, I wouldn't say he's quite checked out. Little Leach still within reach of him at this minute. And like I said, Little Leach has been in this situation. He has raced COTA before, and I think he's had a race win here, I think. Has he had a race win? I don't think he has, actually.
No, Mike has. I know Mike has.
Mike has. That's who I'm thinking of. Mike's had a race win here, but nonetheless, Little Leach, with all his experience in pro, he knows exactly what he needs to do at this point, and he's just managing the gap. He knows the tyres will not be happy at this stage, so it's all about managing those tyres, looking after the car, and getting as far into this race as we could possibly go. Just keeping an eye on track limits as they go through the S's, and all of them are relatively well behaved, and Shane slowly trying to catch onto the back of Dean, who's not had the start that he would have wanted, but still relatively clean for all these guys at this stage of the race. Yeah, indeed it is, and it's hard to keep track of Mike's race wins. He's only had 2, bless him, and so I understand the confusion there, Dan. Apologies, Mike, if you are listening, but Bryn trying to get on the back of Welshie for what will be another podium for Bryn this season, as Little Leach and Uqbar still within that 1.8 second gap. Welshie very deep there at the hairpin, and I'll tell you what, I thought Brendan Holty was going to join him out there. Welshie rejoins the track, but that would have really compromised his run down this back straight, and Bryn now within that second might just start to feel the benefits of a slipstream. But you look at that Lamborghini, you look at the times between Welshie and Bryn slowly just pulling away. JM Grill trying to get on the back of DJ Phil once again. What's happened to Shanks? He's dropped down to 10th, but there is Bryn and Holty trying
to get closer to Welshie, with Smithy 6th place at the minute and Dean having to follow Smithy through. Dean needing to recover here, but look at these three for 3rd, 4th and 5th, all trying to get on the back of each other, and this track, Dan, will suit all these 3 different cars at different times in the lap. As Holty there, very late on the brakes. Smithy's dropped it on his own. Bryn receives a tap up the rear. I think he's managed to carry on his way. He has. He's lost a lot of time to Welshie, but Holty there, a bit late on the brakes. Dean and Smithy both make up a place.
Yeah, very late there of Holty. I think the car became unsettled as he hit the brakes, and as he's done so, he's gone into the back of Bryn. Bryn completely unsettled by that whatsoever. He did not move. That Audi seemed very planted. It did not want to yield to that Mercedes hitting the back of him. But Smithy, after his little spin, he's still managing to stay ahead of the 2 Mercedes at the minute of Dean Wasocki and Holty, who were just sticking to the back of him. And meanwhile, DJ Phil has got JM Grill breathing down his neck. JM Grill, with a brilliant qualifying session, has just dropped down the order, not been the start that he probably would have wanted. As the pit window is coming up very shortly, I believe it's lap 4.
Yep, end of lap 4 is the pit window. JM Grill looking up the inside into turn 1, and Phil taking a lot of sausage curb there, but manages to get around. Dean now still on the back of Smithy. These two have just gapped Holty a little bit. Oh, is that Welshie? Was Welshie off there, I think? Yeah, Bryn, Smithy, Dean, Holty all go through. So Welshie must have had a problem through the S's. That's Holty off as well.
Oh no, Holty's had a moment. Shane, obviously just a little bit further back, just trying to get used to the conditions, trying to get used to this racing here at Simple A Motorsport. So he's just taking his time. Anything can still happen. These boys all racing each other really hard around here, and any points he can gain will help himself and Bryn. Now he's going to have to start from 0, and Bryn having to score points as well, after Shenron deciding to leave the championship. But Dean gets very close to the back of Smithy there. Meanwhile, DJ Phil slowly working his way. As well, she's just struggling a little bit with the Lamborghini. Maybe the tyres are now starting to overheat. It does not take long for the tyres to start heating up. And Jamie in the chat says that Little Leach has had a race win here at COTA.
So it was. So, it must have been Little Leach and Peaceful then that won that night. So Jamie, as we know, Jamie's full of motorsport knowledge. And why wouldn't he add some play motorsport race wins to that list?
He needs to work on his knowledge as well. I want him to be perfect for when he commentates with me. I want him to just pop out facts, so he can pop out touring car facts like they're nothing.
I've got a touring car fact for you.
Hit me.
You've had no race wins in it.
Oh, that's a bit harsh.
Low blow. Sorry, apologies. Low blow.
I've had a pole position.
You've had a pole position. You did well race 2 last night as well. But we're not on about touring cars. We're on about this, because Dean Wasocki is now within half a second of Smithy, and you just see that Mercedes through that section there just starting to become unstable a little bit. Does that Audi have a better change of direction? Because I reckon that's what you need around here. A good car with a good change of direction. There's a lot of left and rights coming up fast, and Dean on the back of Smithy. In fact, he must have had a problem out the final corner because he's a bit further back at that camera shot. JM Grill, though, is right on the back of DJ Phil. But he seems to have been in this place, Dan, for about 2 laps now. Can't find a way through at all here.
Yeah, possibly just being a little bit more cautious off the back of that Ginetta. Just taking his time, waiting for DJ Phil to make that mistake. I believe DJ Phil is probably on the pad right now. He seems to be struggling with the wheel lately, so it looks like he's on the pad by the looks of things. But JM Grill possibly just taking his time here. He knows that this is a long race.
Oh,
Phil. The issue is DJ Phil does take too much curb. He makes a wiggle, but he somehow manages to stay on track.
Big wiggle indeed there, and JM Grill seemed to look like he was having his own moments. He really backed out of it. Dean is right once again on the back of Smithy within that half a second window. Smithy doesn't look like he's got the best of runs round here, as Dean now within that half a second window once again, and will have the benefit of the back straight where the Mercedes should really out-drag this Audi, but Dean can't seem to find his way past. What's nice here is Dean seems to be patient at the moment, not really pushing too hard. This man, in fact these men out front, are in a world of their own, and Jamie Brazier saying that Little Leach won race 1, Peaceful won race 2.
I think Little Leach made a mistake somewhere, because he was only 2.2 seconds behind. He was then 4 seconds before this straight. And Bryn quietly minding his own business as well, while his championship rival is ahead of him on points. He's not losing too much points in this race. Obviously, 10 cars start here, so only the top 5 will qualify. The bottom 5 will qualify. But Smithy here, he's driving very well. I mean, I don't want to curse him. I'm really hoping not to curse him. But he's driving sensibly. He's driving like he did at Zolder a couple of seasons ago when he took his race win. And I'm pretty sure he'll be looking very, very forward to going to Zolder next week. his choice of track. And hopefully he's probably doing a rain dance so he can return that race win once again.
100%. JM Grill has got past DJ Phil on the timing screen, so that move is done. And you see there, he's done by quite some margin at the minute, nearly a second in front. Smithy, though, a little deep at the final corner. But you see Dean Wysocki there, not trying to get on the power too early, which he's been critical of in the past. Nice and patient and waiting. And these two, both these drivers seem to have a patient race. And in fact, the next 3 tracks, Dan, you say about Smithy picking Zolder next week, the next 3 tracks are all picked by Pro-Am drivers. Zolder for Smithy, Silverstone Classic the week after that for Dean Wysocki, and Spa the week after that for Bryn, as Smithy goes defensive into turn 1, and Dean's Mercedes just doesn't have that grunt in a straight line to get past this Audi, which surprises me.
I think he's possibly carrying too much downforce. That downforce, whatever he's carrying on that car, to probably make it a little bit more stable. Shane's into the pits, the first man to do so. So as the pit window has opened, we're now on lap 5. These guys can open on pit 4. Unlike the pro boys who have a pit window, these boys could leave until the very last lap of lap 13 is the last chance to pit. If they don't pit after that, they will get disqualified for the game. As Dean gets a run on Smithy there through the slower section, and Smithy just pushing a little bit on too hard. You can hear the car revving a little bit and struggling. And also, if you look at it as well, Bryn's not really miles away. He's still within Riching decent. And Dean looks to the inside of the hairpin. Smithy goes deep, and there is a classic a kind of misjudgment there for the front car. You think the car behind is going to send it, you go defensive, you miss your braking, you go wide, the next car gets the run, and Dean, with that Mercedes front, has got the toe. He's got a lot closer to Smithy. Is this his opportunity? He looks to the inside. We're going into the left-hander, and it's Dean on the brakes, but he's not brave enough on the brakes just yet, as he's down the inside, and Smithy makes contact with him. It's like both of them hesitated into the corner. Dean wanted to go, but he didn't commit enough, and Smithy didn't know if he was there or not, just turned in, and they both came together, and Smithy hangs on to the position.
They do indeed. I thought Bryn as well, Dan, made a mistake onto that back straight, because they seem to be catching Bryn like mad down the back straight, but a tap there. Holty's got himself past DJ Phil as well, so Holty, job done, although he's had a bit of a moment through that section. The race leader, though, Ukbar, into the pits, and Little Leachen will inherit this race lead. So Ukbar pits at the end of lap 5, and for him, pit stop out the way. I don't know if I'd be wanting to pit this early in the race.
I don't know. Maybe Ukbar's tyres are possibly getting a little bit too hot.
Good stop.
Now he thinks, right, let's come in, let's get the tyres cooled down a little bit, and then go back on and carry on. He has no rush to do so. And as Bryn has come into the pits, and he's got a penalty.
Oh, he
Smithy
has.
will then guarantee possibly an opportunity to get past him. So Smithy needs a good run and a good pit stop, and he'll be able to get ahead. Holty's in, and also is JM Grill. No, them teammates of them. And look at these two. They come out together. One of them's going to have to yield.
I think Smithy will get this one job done. I think the game will put Smithy ahead of Bryn. He's ahead in the pit lane. Holty and JM Grill come in. But like I say, Bryn, penalty for him. Time penalty. That's a minimum of 10 seconds. As Smithy then, out the pits he comes. No, Bryn out the pits he comes. I don't even think these two know what's happening.
Well, they're very lucky that the game didn't decide to give contact to one another.
Yes.
It is Bryn who's in front. So Bryn now, guarantee you now, that is a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Let us have a look. See, it is 10 seconds. So Bryn has got to make 10 seconds now. As DJ Phil, while the two Mercedes came into the pits and gets out of his way, he's actually gained a little bit on Welshie. I think Welshie's had a mistake somewhere, because that is not typical pace from him. It's
not indeed. But one thing to note, Dan, Dean Wysocki only a couple of seconds up the road from Ukbar here. So Dean got the jump on Ukbar out the pits. That would not be what Ukbar wants to see. Ukbar's got to now clear Dean relatively quickly. If Dean goes a lot later in this race than like he normally does in terms of the pit stops, Ukbar could find himself on the back of Dean for quite a while, bringing Little Leach back into this race.
Yeah, but it all depends how long it's going to take him to come into the pits. Welshie just trying to keep that distance from DJ Phil, as DJ Phil's getting onto the back of him. Literally, he's not really lapping very well. He's in the 211s, while Ukbar before was lapping much, much quicker. Yeah. I reckon it's about a 30-second pit stop here. And Ukbar, he ain't going to be in a rush to catch Dean. He knows he's got this race under control. He doesn't need to push the car. He just needs to ease the car into a nice window. And I'll tell you what, that Ginetta is looking planted here.
looking mighty, isn't it, at the moment? So we'll have to see what Ukbar does then. Does Dean decide to pit? No, he doesn't. He carries on his way. So out the top 5, it's only Phil, Welshie, Dean and Littleleach who haven't pitted. As I say that, Welshie comes into the pits. Does DJ Phil pit? I'm not sure. No, he carries on his way. So just Welshie in at the end of lap 6 as Bryn has now got Smithy right on the back of him here. And you see then Littleleach and Dean lapping the same sort of pace.
We're coming up to the halfway stage. Lap 7, Littleleach starts now as well. She's into the pits. How quick is his stop going to be? That is the question. He stops. Mechanics get to work, and they're not as quick as he probably would have wanted it to be. The lollipop goes up, and he's not moving. While these two, the two Audis, are going to go past him. So, well, she's going to lose quite a lot of places here, even to Holty, JM Grill.
Who's that off? Oh, right. Gets it back going now. Yep. Just starts to get on his way. He's had a moment. That's coming through the sweeping right hand of it, and Welshie's lost time to Holty and JM Grill during that pit stop.
Yeah, that was a very poor pit stop there from Welshie. So by the looks of things, the longer you leave it, the worse it could possibly get for you, as Littleleach is back in the 210s. Ukbar is in the 215s, but that's still his out lap. Yeah. As Dean now is just ahead.
We've lost Shane.
Shane has retired.
Yeah.
So he will not be able to qualify for the next race.
So Shane retires from this one early on then. Littleleach 13 seconds ahead of Dean and 15 seconds ahead of Ukbar. But Ukbar is slowly gaining on the back of Dean. Like you say though, Dan, well, she left it later than JM Grill and Holty, proving that the undercut does seem to work around here and does seem to be more effective. You see Ukbar closing in. That gap is now 1.2 seconds.
What's happened to Bryn? He's dropped down to 9th.
Oh, what has happened to Bryn? He's right on the back of Welshie, and JM Grill looks like he's made a mistake because he looks slow out of turn 1. So Bryn, his race couldn't go for any worse at the moment.
Right now, Smithy looking very good in this pound seat. He's got Holty coming to breathe down his neck, and we know Smithy can defend very well, as that camera is absolutely horrendous, and I can't get rid of it. But Ukbar now onto the back of Dean, and Dean's going to possibly hold him up. Littleleach, though, is into the pits, and he's going to lose a massive amount of time to Ukbar here. So the overcut is worse than the undercut. The undercut is the way to go. Ukbar got his pit stop done and out the way, and Littleleach is now into the pits. How much is he going to lose out, though?
A good stop from Littleleach there. This will put DJ Phil through. So DJ Phil and Dean then, the only two who haven't pitted, and Dean there was defending from Ukbar. So Dean trying to defend a lead that he hasn't really got in this race. What's happened to Smithy? He's had a problem. So Smithy down to 8th, and here comes Bryn to try and get that P8 back. Can't get it done. For Ukbar now. Is Ukbar going to try and fight Dean? Ukbar would surely just be better off sitting and letting Dean go, because Littleleach is nowhere near him.
He is nowhere near him. He could just probably sit on the back of Dean and give Dean his moment of fame in the race lead at this point. So Ukbar doesn't really need to force nothing. And
that was a sketchy moment then, as the votes are going Ukbar's way for the poll. The poll has just ended then, and I tell you what, Ukbar there, very, very sketchy moment. He won't want too many of them, but he's 17 seconds ahead of this man, Littleleach, who he's only 6 seconds off the back of DJ Phil. So when does Phil pit? When does Dean Wysocki pit? So it's kind of a race between a Mercedes holding up a Ginetta and a Ginetta holding up the Audi at the moment, as Dean is still in the lead. This is Smithy. Looks like he's a bit slow through the S's. Bryn just getting on the back of Smithy once again then. But don't forget, Bryn has that 10-second time penalty. Has to go 10 seconds longer. But I reckon he's probably got the jump over Dean and over DJ Phil, because they are going to lose out massively in this pit stop.
They are going to lose massively. The staying out longer really has not worked out whatsoever. Dean is just losing time left over fifth right now.
He's made a mistake.
He's made a mistake. He hasn't gone round, though. He's managed to keep it going. But all this is doing is holding up Ukbar, and DJ Phil and Littleleach are slowly creeping onto the back of him. Very slowly, but they are coming. Ukbar will start to get frustrated, because that Mercedes, knowing Dean's strategy, he always leaves it late to his pits. Is he going to keep it late this time?
No, he goes in.
Into the pits. Ukbar is freed. He's released, and Ukbar did the right thing there. He took his time. He wasn't impatient. He just waited for Dean to come into the pits, and that has released him. And Ukbar can focus on himself. DJ Phil still yet to pit.
We spoke last week, Dan, about Dean's racecraft and race strategies maybe not being his strongest point, and what seems to let Dean down a lot in races. Is that going to let him down in this race? He needs a good stop. DJ Phil and Littleleach will get past Dean. This little gaggle of cars, Smithy and Bryn, and then up the road, Holty, JM Grill and Welshie. Will they get past Dean? Dean's on his way out the pits here, so I tell you what, Dean could come out 4th place, you know. I think Dean's pit stop, he always seems to turn his wipers on through the pit lane. Dean could be out the pits, P4. And
will be.
yeah, it's not worked out too bad for him. It is a net third. It's not worked out too bad for him there.
No, it hasn't, but he's now got to keep his head clear, focus on his lap times. So he's the guys behind him are doing 2:13s, 2:010s, as JM Grill is looking to possibly make a move on Holty as they go up to turn 1. Holty goes very deep into turn 1. The Teletubbies Motorsport running a little bit wide. His teammate here, Lucas Droff, not here to support him due to obviously the Scottish game going on against Ukraine, I believe it is.
Yeah, in which they're getting battered.
Ukraine are?
No, Scotland are. Fury's granddad said Scotland are 2-0 down, so that means Scotland are probably getting battered, which might mean we have 4 Scottish drivers turn back up for race 2.
Possibly so, but at the minute, JM Grill is on the back of Holty, looking to try and find a way past, while the other Scotsman of Welshie is not too far behind, hoping that these 2 Mercedes will come together and he pick up the pieces. Holty with a wiggle, JM Grill with a sniff of an opportunity just behind him, and Smithy isn't too far behind these lot either. He's just there, as Bryn looks like he's just come off the back a little bit, Smithy, not able to stick with his pace.
Yeah, and I would stick with his pace. Maybe add a wiggle or 2 on the last lap. And like you say, Holty, JM Grill and Welshie all coming together here and are all creating a bit of dramas between each other as they come down the back straight. Holty's Mercedes looks like it's got a bit more straight line speed than JM Grill's, although why JM Grill isn't in that slipstream of Holty, I have no idea. Try and take as much advantage out of this as you possibly can. Holty, though, into the hairpin as the cameraman doesn't like picking them up coming through that hairpin corner there. And Welshie is just sitting patiently in this background. And with only 9 drivers finishing this race, it is a chance then for these guys to just pick up some good points and move themselves up in this championship standings. Ukbar 17 seconds clear a little each. Holty's gone very, very deep though. This invites JM Grill and Welshie. No, it doesn't. He was just too far ahead. But coming into the Turkey right-hander as Phil now finds himself in the pit lane. Oh, what has happened to Holty? Very slow through the right-hander, Dan.
Touched the curb. He's touched the curb, and as he's touched the curb, the car has become unsettled. So just to prove that DJ Phil's coming to the biz, and Holty send it back on Smithy at Welshie again to go to the penultimate corner, and that has caught Welshie out. Holty's do or die, send it there after being on the curb. The car became unsettled, and he just sent it. This is bringing Smithy and Bryn back in the situation. DJ Phil, though, has not worked out for him whatsoever. He will drop to the back of this pack, and he now will be off the pit limiter now. And he is at the back, but he should be able to stay within 10 seconds of this man, so he won't be dead last just yet. But it is still Ukbar who leads this race, Little Each in second. Dean Wasocki with a long stint has put him up into 3rd place position, with JM Grill now up into 4th, Holty in 5th, Welshie in 6th, and pressurising the back of that Mercedes. Smithy slowly catching himself back into this fight, with Bryn just behind as well. And DJ Phil bringing up the rear in 9th place position at this stage.
Yeah, 2.8 seconds off the back of Bryn, so that'll help Phil as Welshie then. He's had a moment. He's hit the wall, so that could be some damage to that car. Gets it into reverse. DJ Phil will come past. And now then, Welshie, bit of damage. As you can see, the front bumper just hanging off on one side, dragging on the floor. That'll hurt him in terms of getting that 10 seconds to Bryn. The gap to Bryn is 7 seconds already. So Bryn then might have just found himself an extra place, and that has helped let Holty off the leash a little bit. JM Grill going to the inside of the track. Not sure what kind of line that is, but clearly he knows what he's doing. Smithy trying to get on the back of Holty here. JM Grill 6.5 seconds to Dean Wasocki. Them two are tied on points in the championship, so Dean at the minute will leapfrog JM Grill.
He will indeed, but remember, it's all about Dean trying to keep a clear head. He's currently in that 3rd place position. He's got the wipers on for no apparent reason. Dean, you really need to figure out why your wipers...
Every week he leaves the pit lane, the wipers come on.
He must accidentally hit a button.
I wonder if he catches a button putting his pit limiter on and it catches the wiper button as well and puts them on. Either way, he's 5 seconds out of JM Grill and needs to keep up that pace and keep up doing what he's doing at the minute. Ukbar, compared to Little Each, look, nearly 3 seconds quicker last lap. He's 19 seconds out of Little Each. No one has an answer for Ukbar here. Bryn, 9 seconds ahead of Welshie, and with Welshie's damage, you just feel that he might now lose out to Bryn.
Possibly, so it depends how bad a damage that Welshie is carrying. It doesn't seem to be too bad. He's able to match what DJ Phil was doing, so it might just be aero damage.
He's only lost, don't forget, he lost it this lap. It's that long a lap. He only lost it at the beginning of this lap. So we'll have to see what his times are next lap, because this lap's going to be a bit of a bad one. But Smithy, within a second, Holty's deep again. He keeps going deep at turn 1 though, Dan.
He does go very deep at turn 1. It just seems like the car is just not wanting to turn in. He runs wide, gets on the curb, just where Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg came together in 2016. And Lewis Hamilton pushes him wide, and those two relationship went downhill from there. But what is Smithy's and Holty's relationship going to be like if they go side by side up into turn 1? That's the question. Holty and Smithy both running a little bit wide through these sections. They're really struggling to find the lines here. Are they literally tiptoeing on these hard tyres? Are they overheating? That is the question. If they are on the softs, I'll be very amazed.
I'll be very amazed as well. And I tell you what, Smithy driving a very good race at this moment in time. JM Grill, nearly a second quicker than Dean last lap, so he's starting to bring that gap down. There is Dean, look, in the foreground and can be seen by these guys now. Bryn has 10 seconds to Welshie, so Welshie clearly starting to struggle. There's Dean in the background. Look, you see JM Grill, Holty and Smithy, and you see Bryn. Bryn's not really in that battle, but I tell you what, a mistake or two from Dean, and these three could have a sniff at a podium here.
I don't think Dean's had the best of laps anyway, because before he didn't have that much of a... He did have a bigger gap than that, and these guys can now see that blue Mercedes in the foreground. So are they able to try and hunt down the 24 of Dean Wasocki and bring that gap down? JM Grow in the 74. Also, Holty goes very deep. Smithy also wanting to try and get onto the back of his... Bryn had a moment. You can see the Audi revving quite loudly.
Had a bit of a wiggle there, which kind of brings Welshie back into this. It also brings DJ Phil, but Uckbart and Little Each out front are gone. JM Grill being caught by Holty and Smithy keeping up with a pair of them. Smithy racing really well tonight. There you see Dean just going through the final corner. So Smithy could be licking his lips. The GOAT, as he was known last season, in fact still is known as, I suppose, it can really get himself a good set of points here. And look at him, he gets a better rundown at the final corner. Not in that slipstream of Holty. So is he going to think of a send-it manoeuvre into turn 1? Holty's just on his best lap of the race, and it's only a 2:10.4. You say Dean struggled last lap, he really did look a 2:13.2, so showing that Dean just maybe had a mistake or two somewhere. Holty's wide and Smithy's up the inside. P5 for Smithy, job done, and now he sets his sights on JM Grill in that black and yellow Mercedes-Benz. Smithy then really starting to come better and better in this race, and we're seeing the Smithy that we saw last season.
Is Smithy running pad? If so, then it seems like the pad looks after the tyres a lot better than the wheel does, as we found out. So Smithy is probably now starting to come back at these guys.
Look at his last lap time, Dan.
It's a 2:09.7, so he is matching what Little Each is doing in front of him. His teammate, but Holty is going to send it on the outside. The Mercedes grunt should be able to give him advantage on the exit. He goes for a wide entry, but he's wheel span it, and that is going to give Smithy an opportunity to get away. Bryn isn't too far behind these guys either, but Holty, key moment there. He had a good line to get a good drive, but look, in the toe, the Audi can't withstand the power of the Mercedes breathing down his neck.
It can't at all, as Holty then just looks like he's a day late, dollar short on the brakes, as again he comes close to the back of Smithy under braking and really sort of brakes a lot better than Smithy and has an opportunity in a sniff. But let's not remember Holty at the beginning of this race braked a bit later and tapped the rear of Bryn, and it lost him a couple of places. One of them was to Smithy. Smithy now, Holty at the same place, and nearly an identical move to what he did earlier to Bryn, where he tapped the rear. Holty again just so late on the brakes that he has really got to be a bit cautious here as to whether or not he wants to risk that manoeuvre. Smithy's lost a bit of time to JM Grill this lap, but what still you can see, look, Dean Wasocki, pretty similar gap to Holty as what it was last time round as he comes around the last corner. Dean looks like he's had been back on a better lap this time round, because his gap to JM Gross stayed about 40. In fact, there you go. He's had his best lap of his race, a 2:10.2. JM Grill, a 2:10.2 as well. So Dean sort of back on the pace of these guys. Look at Smithy, though. His pace matching those in front of him. It matched Little Each again.
Oh, Smithy's got a little bit wide into turn 1. Now Holty's going to have an opportunity, but not quite close enough. So Holty
Where's Bryn?
Not able to capitalise on that. Bryn's had a moment. He's lost a little bit of time. That's quite a bit of time off the back of Holty. As JM Grill now into that 1 second gap between him and Smithy. So at the minute, DJ Phil will jump Bryn. Well, she's not too far behind. Well, she's actually matching relatively close to what he was doing before. So that damage shouldn't be hurting him too much. But it's not pleasant for sure.
It's not pleasant for sure, but he is gaining on the back of DJ Phil, so that must be reassuring for Welshie then. This man, 4.9 to JM Grill. This man, 23.9 to Little Leach, in a world of his own, and could be his second race win here at Simplay Motorsport, having a drive of his life. Little Leach just looks like he's out there on a Sunday stroll at the minute. He's not put a foot wrong. But at the same time, if he has, it's not really going to matter because Dean is nowhere near the back of him. As you look at Smithy then, still has Holty once again trying to pressure him. I wondered where JM Grill had gone there, but he just appears as Smithy's car moves around. JM Grill just ahead of this battle, and Holty, look, later on the brakes than Smithy. Smithy's so indecisive on the brakes there, Dan, on and off. And I wonder if that's earlier, when he had that bit of contact with Dean Wysocki earlier, I wonder if that's how he was then, just so indecisive on the brakes.
Holty went wide, as did JM Grill. This is going to give Smithy an opportunity. Smithy seems so much better through the Hockenheim Stadium section here and then into the Istanbul section. The Mercedes just does not look happy here whatsoever. Smithy now is able to get closer to the back of that Mercedes in front of him. And as you can see here, JM Grill, the My Mate Racing, is really struggling to keep ahead of the Audi. And there's so much more power through there. So JM Grill is going to go wide ever so slightly. That's going to give Smithy a sniff of an opportunity down the inside. Smithy could possibly see Dean Wysocki in front of him. JM Grill has gone deep. He gets it together, and Smithy goes down the inside. Smithy is up into 4th place position. Dean Wysocki's got 1 lap to survive and keep hold of this podium position.
What a run there from Smithy then. Absolutely magical stuff. Dan, just looking at Welshie, his time has dropped well off the back of DJ Phil. I think he's had another moment somewhere because he is right off the back of DJ Phil. But Smithy there, great run out the final corner. And once again, look, you see JM Grill at 2:12.1, really struggling as Holty's now right on the back of JM Grill. Look at the difference in speed between the two Mercedes coming through the S's then. JM Grill just struggling a little bit. Smithy starting to pull away. And Dean, how's your bottle? Because Smithy could take this podium away from you at the way he's driving. Ukbar and Little each gone in the distance, but Dean within 5 seconds of Smithy. These two fighting as well. This man has got to hold his nerve in this last lap.
He does indeed. We'll come back to Ukbar momentarily, but Smithy needs to keep his head clear. He's also got JM Grill hunting him down as well. Those Mercedes are very fast. JM Grill looking down the inside, but he decides to better of it. But he has compromised himself. If Holty was a little bit closer, that would have been an opportunity for him. But this man, we haven't even seen him all race, but Ukbar absolutely nailed it tonight.
Stellar drive from Ukbar, quickest in practice, quickest in qualifying, and the quickest in this first race. And it's going to be his second win here at Simplay Motorsport. And the Ginetta, a flash of the lights, and well deserved, because he has been phenomenal in this first race. Another man we've not really seen is this man. He's not really put a foot wrong, but he's just been second best, Dan.
He just has been second best, but he won't complain because his closest championship rival is Bryn. He's down in 7th. He's going to lose another place to DJ Phil as well. But literally, his consistency of being a pro driver, knowing how to get through these races, he's going to come home and get a solid points in 2nd place.
He is going to get a solid points in 2nd place. The flash of the lights there from him as well. We'll speak to him a little later on. Dean then needs to just get around the final corner with no mistakes. Smithy is 4.5 seconds behind, and we could be speaking to Dean Wysocki on the podium as here he comes then round the final corner. No errors through there. He's got it done, which means Dean is going to come home 3rd place. The question is 4th place. Holty's gone so deep, and that has compromised him. Dean with a 3rd. Smithy is going to cross the line P4. What a result for Smithy in this one. JM Grill P5 with Holty down in 6th. Bryn then is 7.3 clear of DJ Phil, which isn't going to be enough. So that will demote Bryn down to 8th place with DJ Phil being promoted into P7. And Welshie, well, work to do in 9th.
Yeah, he's got a lot of work to do in 9th, but nonetheless, he will be able to qualify. Top 5 won't be able to qualify. So Ukbar, Little H, Dean, Smithy, and JM Grill all will not be allowed to qualify. We'll have to remind JM Grill because he always seems to go out to do the qualifying session, but he will not be able to qualify. But nonetheless, Ukbar, what a controlling race that was.
What a controlling race indeed. The fastest lap of the race goes the way of Ukbar as well with a 2:07.3, so 1.1 quicker than Little Each. Look at Smithy, a 2:09.7, the second fastest, the 3rd fastest lap in that race. So Smithy really on it. Do not edge your bets in that second race. But we'll be right back in just a moment after we hear from our delightful sponsor, Audio Sport, in the mid-session break. The drivers will be getting ready for race 2, as will we. Don't go anywhere.
I thought Dean was going to drop it.
Yeah.
I kind of hoping he would.
Yeah, same here. I was kind of like, if he drops it,
We ain't going to hear the end of this.
he's on podium now, and if he gets 2 good results tonight, he's just going to be, that's it. You know what I mean? I'm buzzing now, mate, because I rooked it off too.
Do you know what I jolted in that race?
What?
Shane retire. That's it.
not a lot else happened, did it really?
Not really. But hey, that's good. Less for me to review, unless someone gives me something.
Ukbar. Here he is, look.
Here he is. The man we're not going to ever give prediction for a race win ever again.
Right, I'm just going to pop to the toilet.
Yeah.
Could you do me another coffee, please, babe? Yes,
Ukbar, you killed that, man. You absolutely killed it.
I think it's best you won't ever favorite me for a win.
Was it the chasing my Lamborghini in every practice session is what urged you on?
Sorry?
Was it every practice session we done? Was it the urge to try and chase my Lamborghini down?
Yeah. Yeah, but I got it once at 2.5.5, I think it was.
Yeah.
I think that will be enough. I was still a second off from you. I'm never gonna get that.
I mean, you were very patient
Quick,
behind
man.
me. Huh?
Yeah.
There you go.
You were awfully quick at Circuit of the Americas.
I'm thoroughly enjoying the Lamborghini at the minute.
Ah,
I'm loving it that much. So far, I've been able to match or even go quicker than Overtaker at most tracks. So I'm really enjoying it, and I can't wait to get back in it and race next season.
oh. Yeah, Overtaker is also very, very fast, huh?
Yeah. Hey, at this rate, you look like you might be heading up towards the pro at this rate.
Yeah, I hope I'm gonna make that to the pro. So we'll see. We got still eight tracks to go. I think it is, huh? Yeah.
Yeah. 8 to go still.
Well,
Well,
there's a lot what can happen. So
yeah,
see.
definitely. So,
Yeah,
well
but
done, little H.
I really
Second best.
love this.
You do like American tracks, don't you? For some
I
reason,
don't.
you always
I
go
don't
well at
mind.
American circuits.
Although my tyres were going off at lap 8, big time.
Were you on softs?
No, I weren't that stupid tonight.
My tires were also freaking hot.
Yeah, we knew that would be the problem.
Yeah.
Well, track's tent is like 60 degrees or something.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. Mine's in Fahrenheit, 140, I think it was.
Yeah, hot.
My rear tires stayed good, but my left front tire, it was after the first sector and the last sector, left front tire was every round orange.
Well done, Dean.
Cheers, buddy.
Well done, Dean, mate.
Oh, I'm getting that a right good go. Why did you go to bed till 20 past 2 last night?
Fuck's sake. Looks like it paid off.
Definitely.
I was in Canterbury. Sunning it up in the spa. Yeah, love that.
Yeah, things have got a banging headache.
Little Leach has been carried by Smith. Fact.
Fuck off.
He was fucking rapid, he was.
If it weren't for Smithy's testing on Monday, you wouldn't have a fucking decent setup.
That's brilliant.
Says the man who hides behind Gary all season.
Fuck Gary.
Hey, he's a fucking animal. You saw his race win at Snet last night.
That's touring cars.
Yeah, but he did he win? He fucking pissed race one. He was fucking as far as ahead as Ugbar was to you, if not further. It was Snetterton. He was in the BMW, and it was wet. You know, the next closest person was John Boy, and he said he had no more left in the tank, and he was in the Mercedes.
I think I did quite well. They were pitted.
Fucking hell.
I had to go in to cool my tyres down.
You left it late.
I know I was going to go in at the same time as rest went in. And I thought now I'll go out an extra lap or two.
Did you guys all come in when you thought your tyres were overheating, or was it kind of just like, I'll come in now?
I just spun the last corner and thought I might as well pit at the same time.
Fair enough. At the way it's going right now, if you guys have another clean race, tomorrow night in the Pro is going to be a shit show.
I'm surprised there were no incidents, to be fair.
Mind you, we've got 9 drivers.
10.
10.
Shane dropped it at the end and he just decided to retire, so we need to let him know he's not allowed to qualify.
Is my teammate not fucking racing today then? At all?
Fuck knows. No idea, Dean.
At least I got a few points on constructors.
Yeah. We have no idea, buddy.
100%. Have we got all fucking 10 of us in? Yep.
Someone can't count.
All that matters is Smithy's in, that's all that matters.
Yes, that is.
Fucking
Big Teletub.
Little Leech definitely being carried by Smith.
Class setup, mate. Well done, Smith.
Third quickest on the track there. Did you not see his fastest lap time? Not far off your pace.
No, mate.
209. I have got.
Where's Keegs?
I did do a 206 last night.
Oh, we've just fucking lost Holty. Come on, Holty.
Little shot on the head, that's not good.
I wonder if Welsh dropped that.
He's on the wheel. Don't race pad anymore. Yeah, don't race pad anymore.
What if you unplugged it then?
That.
Danny, you seen that Liam's teammates number 1700?
Discord. From the edge. Full screen that. Holty back in. Yeah, right, let's go. Dan, I reckon if someone retires, they may as well just not qualify next week. So like with Shane.
So what, you don't want Shane to qualify for the next...
Well, we may as well just post it with all the penalties saying that they can't qualify for race 1 next week, can't we? You know what I mean? Instead of having to try and contact him for this week.
Turning up.
Oh, he's Scottish, isn't he? They're all watching game, aren't they? 4 Scottish drivers are missing. Welsh is racing.
You know, I said that there's nothing
Keys,
to review.
Leon Fernie, Aiden. Yeah.
There is something to review now.
Welsh, you don't like football now.
Good man, football's rubbish.
I've got to say, there was no attempt to overdrive car whatsoever.
Welcome back then, Simplay Motorsport, as we head into the second race of the evening. We have the top three in the interview room, and I'm going to let Unorthodox take the interviews for this one while I just sort the tables out. We've had a little problem with the spreadsheet, Dan. I need you to do the interviews because I need to sort this spreadsheet out for the tables.
Okay.
So
just throw that on me at last minute then, why not?
Well, I've only just checked. I've only just looked at it and checked. So go ahead and do the interviews. Good luck.
Well, first things first, the top 5 can't qualify, so that is Ukbar, Little Leach, Demasaki, Smithy, and also JM Grill will not be allowed to qualify, and JM Grill currently in the pit, so that's good sign, because normally he does come out on track. But we'll start with our third place man, Demasaki. Dean, it's been a while since we've spoken to you in the commentary box, but nonetheless, a podium here at Saga of the Americas. You've got to be happy with that. A good way to start the night.
Yeah, definitely. That late night paid off last night. Went to bed at 2:20 in the morning. So we're quite happy with my result. Third. I wish I got a win, but you never know. Race 2.
You never know, indeed. You're going to be starting roughly in the mid-pack anyway, but nonetheless, obviously with the hotter conditions here this evening here at Kota, do you think your car was struggling a little bit with the tyres with these heat conditions, or would you just taking it nice and easy and just making sure the car got home safe?
I was making sure car got him safe. There was no point trying to catch Little Leach. I might have just took the time of that third place, which I did. And I had a few little spins, but I carried on, got my head down.
How are you finding the Mercedes this season? Obviously, you're used to driving so many different cars. You've jumped into a brand new car again with the Mercedes. How are you finding it?
God's up, mate. I'll adapt to it quite quickly. It's
Enjoying
like all
it?
the cars. Yeah. But I think might be a surprise next season.
Are you changing once again?
Yep.
That's not a surprise,
Are
is
you
it?
ever going to stick to one car?
That's not a surprise, is
No,
it?
I like winning different cars, man, so we'll try them all, aren't we? That's what they're there
Well,
for.
fair enough. Fair enough. You're going to be starting roughly 7th place position in this race, and well, actually probably at 6th. What can you do in this race?
Just try and do what I did from that first race, carry on from where I left off. Just take my time, pick them off. If they spin, pass them.
Well, congratulations on the 3rd place and best of luck for a race 2.
And congratulations to Little Leach and Ukbar. Well done, pals.
As we do, move on to the 2nd place man, a Little Leach. Craig, another a pro attempt to that race. You took it nice and easy. Didn't quite have the pace of Ukbar, but nonetheless, good points over Bryn. Good points in the championship. You'll be happy with a 2nd place.
I'm happy with 2nd place. After seeing Akbar's pace in quali, I thought just sit behind him, but he pulled away, so I just kept my head down and went steady.
Yeah, definitely went steady. Obviously, you seem to favour the soft tyres. Not soft tyre tonight?
No. Even the hards were going off after lap 8.
How was your rally this evening? It did look like everyone was kind of tiptoeing. Was you tiptoeing yourself?
Yeah, I was. And I'm not very confident around here at all. I did get a win in the Pro last season, or a few seasons ago, but the Audi's a little bit different to the Porsche.
Yeah, the Porsche's a lot better around here, isn't it?
I have to say.
But you're going to be starting just behind Dean, so possibly in 7th place position, and going into the 2nd race. Are you able to try and catch Ukbar at all, or do you think it's just going to be another kind of follow him home, or just get him through as much as you can?
Well, it all depends on the first corner. If I make a mistake, I will try and just keep on the back of Ukbar and follow him home again for good points.
And also mention to your teammate Smithy, he looked like he had a brilliant race there, and almost matching your lap times as well. So good points for both of you.
Yeah, he's driving well, the goat. It won't be long before he's beating me, I'm sure.
But nonetheless, mate, congratulations on the 2nd place and best of luck for race 2.
Cheers, well done, Ukbar.
And we do move on to your race winner, the Flying Dutchman. Ukbar has got a race win in the Ginetta here at Kota. Ukbar, how does that feel, mate?
It feels good. My first win in the first race. So yeah.
You're very.
It's also a very difficult circuit, so I'm very happy with it. The car began a little bit of understeering, but it kept doing well, so I'm happy.
Well, so far already this evening, you've taken a grand slam. You took the fastest time in practice. You took pole position, fastest lap, and the race win. Can you continue that pace on going into the second race? And is the Ginetta holding up its tyre as well?
I think so. It does. I've been testing today a bit in the second race with this exact setup, and it seemed to stay fine. So I'm going for a win. Yeah.
Well, currently your teammate DJ Phil is fastest at the minute. You're going to be starting at the back of the pack. What can you do from 10th place position? What is the game plan? And is the race win definitely on the cards for this one?
Yeah, it's Ginetta is a bit tricky in the corners when you're right behind another car, so that I've got to watch it and plan my pit stop well. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Hope everything goes as I hope so.
Well, nonetheless, mate, congratulations on the race win and the best of luck for a race 2. Can you get the Grand Slam in race 2? That is the question. We'll let you get back into your party. And Matt, we've got 3 very happy guys on the podium.
Yeah, 3 very happy guys on the podium, and it's nice to hear that. I have got the updated tables for you finally as well.
Oh, finally.
Little
You put
each.
me under very much pressure.
Well, hey, I was just seeing how you do, you know what I mean? And you coped very well. Well done there, Dan. Am
I still hired?
You've still got easier names to pronounce than I have in Switzerland, so you're not yet.
I mean, when are you going to pay me? I was still waiting to be paid for doing the whole F1 season. That was a hero run on its own.
Wait till we're on Twitch. Little Each leads by 21 points from Bryn, then in second place. Ukbal moves his way up into P3, 45 points off the championship lead. Lucas Roffinolti in 4th and 5th place, with Dean Wisocki now climbing 3 places into P6. And is only 3 points off the back of Holty and 5 points off the back of Lucas Roth. So really sort of on the back of them two to maybe be in the top 4 by the end of the night. Welshie a point behind Dean Wisocki, with James Grill in 8th place. Stealth Sloth down in 9th with DJ Phil 10th. Smithy 11th. That Posy Boy 12th with Shenron. Shenron obviously pulled out. He will still be on the table at the time being. Leon Fernie still not scored yet. And Shane, with that retirement, didn't score in race 1 and has a grid penalty here, just as he's out qualifying his teammate Bryn as well. So that'll actually help Dean Wisocki get an extra place if Bryn can out-qualify Shane. Pickavix Motorsport, 25 points clear of Teletubby Motorsport with Terminal Velocity Racing now into P3, jumping ahead of Super Crash Bros and MC Motorsport. My Mate Racing still just ahead of Getting Quicker My Mate by 3 points, and that is the uncle versus nephew in team battle there, isn't it? The Liam versus Dean battle, and Dean's team will want to come out on top, but Dean at the minute carrying that team on his own, pretty much as James Grill is.
Yeah, pretty much, and it's a shame that Leon Fernie's not here to really support his teammate, but nonetheless, we are here for the second race, and so far it is Holty who is on top of the tables. It was Welshie momentarily, but it is now the Mercedes of Holty. He's actually in the tow of another car. I believe that is Bryn. So possibly Holty looked like he could improve his lap time here as we are into the last laps for these guys, where it's Welshie. He's coming into the Hockenheim section. This will probably be one more lap. He might be able to sneak one more in as Holty comes from the line. Is this going to be quicker? He's currently half a second down at this stage.
He is indeed. Shane then still in the pit lane at this moment in time, and Bryn needs to get a better lap time in. Dan, bit of a strange one for these Mercedes drivers, because Dean tonight, like he said though, he made a few mistakes himself. James Grill and Holty didn't look comfortable out there.
I think this circuit's more of a chassis downforce circuit once again. We had it at, I can't even remember where before, Imola.
Yes.
Very much a chassis circuit, you know, where the car wants to be happy, wants to be comfortable, and with these hotter conditions as well. Hotter, I was looking at Holty and thinking of hot at the same time, so I've got a Holty. Holty coming across side, he's going to get one more lap in, as will Bryn. Needs to finishing their laps. Bryn doesn't improve, but all these guys, it's going to be a chassis circuit, and that's why I think the Ginetta, the Audi, all seem more at home. The Lamborghini not quite as planted as the other two, but it does have the grunt to go with it. Mercedes, though, is probably strongest in two sections of the track, which is the first part of Sector 1 down towards this section, where the car is all about straight.
Oh!
He has a big snap.
And I was just reading in the chat, Dan, that Fury, Tinky Winky himself, has been helping Lala out with a few tactics, Lala being Holty, in the mid-session break there. So has Fury just been able to help Holty's car? It didn't look like it with that big twitch, as Holty currently on provisional pole, 7/10 clear of Welshie. As is that DJ Phil or Welshie just coming through the S's? I'm not sure if they're still on a lap. Bryn's ruined that.
It is pretty much down to Welshie.
It is just Welshie, yeah.
Done. As Bryn's back to the pits, he will not. Shane will not lose that 5th place position now, because Bryn did not manage to out-qualify his teammate. So Shane here out-qualifying his teammate, who is 2nd in the championship.
Yeah,
so that's impressive stuff from Shane. Now
it is.
His car a bit better.
But Shane will obviously drop behind Bryn, unfortunately, because of his grid penalty there. So Shane out-qualifies him on pace, but on track he's done it on track. As DJ Phil is slow, so he's probably finished. So it is just this man we're waiting for. Does he get that 7/10 of a second that he needs to knock Holty off of pole position? If Holty gets pole position, it will be the Mercedes-Benz 49th in the Pro Am, showing how dominant the Mercedes-Benz has been in Pro Am in this one. But Welshie, though, can make the Lamborghini ahead of Porsche in terms of pole positions. Not by having a wiggle halfway down the straight, he won't. To the line, I don't think there's going to be any improvement there.
I think he was just having a bit of fun now, and he does not improve. He stays 2nd, but nonetheless, it is Holty on pole position, an extra point for himself, and also the Mercedes-Benz will get its 14th pole position here in the Pro-Am. And what a bore that is. I think for next season, we need to ban the Mercedes, just as we're going to...
Oh, we've lost Shane!
Again. Oh, no.
I wonder if he's pressed return to race central.
That's a shame. That is a shame. We're going to miss... Shane in this race, so still a lot to learn for himself though, but he's going to miss this race. Yes, he's left the session, so he's probably hit retire or leave session.
Yeah, I wonder if he's pressed return to race central when we press ready up to the lobby. I wonder if he's pressed return to race central, because that was like instant. The minute this loaded, that was instant. So a shame for him, but like you say, a lot to learn and a lot to hopefully come from him in the future, especially if he can start to out-qualify Bryn a little bit. But then, Dan, your tip for this second race win?
I don't want to curse him, but I'm going to do it anyway because of his consistency and his pace tonight. I think it's going to be Ugbar from the back of the grid. I
can't really see any other driver doing it. I can't really see any other driver getting the race win, so I've got to go Ugbar as well. Hopefully we've not cursed him. Hopefully he can do it though. But Holty and Welshie at the front row of the grid. This promotes every driver from Dean down up a spot. So Dean, Lidley, Smithy, James Gill and Ugbar all get promoted a spot. Shame to have lost Shane in this one. The votes are going Ugbar's way in the chat as well. And we said 49 pole positions for the Mercedes-Benz in the Pro-Am. That's 64 in total for the Mercedes-Benz. The next closest car is the Porsche and Lamborghini on 36 apiece. Can the Mercedes get its 68th win and its 49th win in Pro-Am as well? We're about to find out as it's green and go here, and that looks like Bryn and DJ Phil both get a decent start. Holty and Welshie a little bogged down, and Welshie trying to close the door on Bryn, but Bryn has snuck a nose up the inside, and DJ Phil and him have made contact but managed to somehow get away with it, and everybody through relatively cleanly then at the first corner. Ugbar a bit slow. What's happened to Dean?
He's had a spin, and Ugbar just taking his time here. Looks like Dean has just had a bit too much power put down, and he's gone round. So Ugbar, well, that's the thing, is just taking his time. He's in no rush to pass anybody. He knows he has the overall strength. He even said himself when following another car, the Ginetta doesn't seem to like it, but DJ Phil and Bryn had a very close moment at the top of the hill. But nonetheless, they've all got going, other than Dean's little mishap. We are all underway here for the second race. 14 laps here for round 8 of the Pro-Am Championship, and I've lost my pen.
He's lost his pen, and I wonder then, did Ukbar let Dean have the place back? Did Ukbar tap Dean at turn 1, late breaking into turn 1? Let's not forget a sharp 90-degree left as here comes Smithy. Holty's made a mistake. He's had a wiggle, and that is going to give Bryn an absolute run. And we know what this Audi do compared to the Mercedes is like down this straight. When you get a run, Little Eats looking up the inside of Welsh. He needs to make as much ground early on as possible. He's also got DJ Phil, who is the best of the late breakers between these two. There's Bryn and Holty. Little Eats moves even wider out because Welsh is having a look up the inside of DJ Phil. And Little Each thinks better of that. Now maybe tucks underneath to get Phil. Can't get the job done. As Dean and Ukbar still side by side, Bryn and Holty. And was there contact? No, both seem to be still going. I think they may have just rubbed doors a little bit, but both still going at the minute. Bryn looking racy against Holty here early on as Holty wide and deep again.
He has gone very wide and deep. This is holding everybody up. Bryn's onto the back. Well, she's onto the back, and now DJ Phil is losing places left, right, and centre. JM Grill is now ahead. Smithy is next to try and make a move, but DJ Phil is getting mugged left, right, and centre. Ukbar still no real threat to any of these drivers. He's just biding his time as JM Grill now is just ahead of Smithy, and Smithy gets past DJ Phil.
Oh, hello!
Smithy's going to send the inside. And that's contact with JM Grill. Smithy's spinning him round. He's going to have to give that position back, but he doesn't do so.
A flash of the lights from JM Grill. Very unhappy with that from Smithy there. It was a late lunge, but I'm sure the stewards will be interested to see that one, unless Smithy gives him the place back later in the race. Now DJ Phil's going to have a look up the inside of Smithy, and I think JM Grill was having a look up the inside of Dean Wasocki. Both of them didn't get their respected move. In fact, JM Grill did get the move done on Dean, so Dean just being more aware of his surroundings then, as Holty still leads from Bryn, who leads from Welshie and Little each P4, and the top four are all pretty close together. Oh, what's happened? Oh, that's Dean! Dean's round!
He's got massive damage on the front of that car. He's going to struggle to get that back, and lap 4 is when the pit window opens. So Dean will have to provide significant proof of that car is not worth keeping out on track. He needs to have significant damage as Smithy now is still not having to give that place back to JM Grill, so that will be reviewed as a possible push to pass there. And Ukbar has made one more place from that Dean spinning in turn 3, as Bryn still right on the back of Holty with Welshie there. Also, Little Each just on the back of him as well.
Yeah, all the top four pretty much still together. And Ukbar very patiently at the minute waiting to bide his time. Dean made the mistake and Holty gets through. Ukbar gets through, and you see in the background the top 8. Dean nowhere to be seen as he's carrying a lot of damage. Holty then deep into the corner. This cameraman's not your friend tonight down at the bottom of that hairpin, as Welshie and Bryn just trying to stay on the back of the Mercedes. This is where the Audi is a lot more dominant than the Mercedes. We saw in race 1 with Smithy on Holty and on JM Grill, and this is where Bryn can capitalise on a few mistakes from Holty. Look at that Mercedes just not wanting to get around the corners, and Bryn and Welshie here. Welshie as well looking very strong through this part, and I have no doubt Little Each behind is strong as well, as there is Ukbar, DJ Phil and JM Grill all trying to get through the final part of the corner. Now the Mercedes will be back to its best.
My only worry with these changes at Holty is
Bryn!
Bryn's dropped it!
Too much sausage curb!
He's done the right thing there. He clutched the brake and then turned the car so that he was able to get it to spin round on its own. So he's done a good job of getting that thing spun back around. As now Little Each is up into 3rd, but Smithy once again up in the 4th place position. He's working his way up, slowly but surely. But Ukbar is on a charge now. He's slowly picking his way through the pack. Holty, fastest man of that lap, but Ukbar not far off he's quite a bit off actually, so Ukbar really struggling to clear these cars at this stage.
Yeah, just patiently waiting. Now he's got the pace overall and just patiently waiting. That's 2 cars that span, and he's got past them both. Dean carrying on his way, so clearly feels that car is drivable still. You'd expect to see Dean into the pit, so at the very end of lap 4, he's still got another 2 laps to do before he can pit here, and for him it's a long old race in this one, but don't expect to see Dean going long. You might also see Bryn early after his spin in this race. Little Each looking up the inside of Welshie, just taps him, and Holty as well has made a mistake, and the GOAT leads this race from DJ Phil, from JM Grill possibly, and then Ukbar hasn't had to pass anybody properly yet. They've all span in front of him. Oh, attack with Ukbar, attack with Holty.
So, oh my god, there's all sorts of chaos going on there. As I've had to note Little Leach and Welshie there making contact with one another, so not what Little Leach could be doing right now.
That has brought, Dan, Bryn right back onto the back of this little pack here. He's right on the back of Welshie, so Bryn hasn't lost too much time after his moment, but the GOAT is 2.5 seconds in the lead, and here comes Little Leach for a send it up the inside of JM Grill. Day late, dollar short, taps through here, but both lose out a bit of time, and Ukbar still patiently waiting.
He is patiently waiting. He knows that Little Leach has got the pace here and could disappear, but Little Leach is wasting this pace that he has. He's able to go through the pack relatively quickly, but that one little contact with Welshie has dropped him back in the pack. So has Welshie. So this is not really working out. We're running a GT3 league, but no one seems to be caring because they're all caring about this stupid football.
Yeah.
I know it's obviously Ukraine versus Scotland, but football's boring, boys. This is more entertainment.
Oh, Little Leach!
Late on the brakes.
Right into the rear of JM Grill there, and that's allowed Holty past Little Leach at the moment, and down round the final corner they come. Smithy here, 3.5 out in the lead, Dan. He is pulling away even more.
Yeah, but I'm not going to go near Smithy for a minute. And 2:08.8, faster than his last lap in round one. Smithy is on it. He's looking to try to extend the gap, but like I said, I'm not going to go near him for the minute because Little Leach goes down the inside of Holty. And lap 4 they're now on. Dean is struggling with his damage. He's really trying to get to lap 4 so he doesn't have to pit again. But look at here, Holty under pressure from these cars right now. As Little Leach has got past him. Ukbar now starting to creep on the back of him. I think Holty had a wiggle there. But Welshie now, whatever damage he's probably carrying is not well. Where are all the Pro-Am drivers? Not sure. I'm going to make tomorrow. Come on the go, says Gary in the chat. Most of them are watching a Scottish game. That is why.
Yeah, and we did lose Shane just before this race. Liam at work, and the four Scottish drivers watching the Scottish game. But here is DJ Phil up into P2, Smithy in P1 at this moment in time, and JM Grill, Little Leach, Holty, Ukbar all having their own little scrap. Welshie and Bryn trying to get on the back of this little scrap, as Bryn trying to get a better run than Welshie. Poor Dean Wysocki, I mean, had a spin himself, but he's managed to get it back to lap 4. He's surely got to pit the end of this lap, Dan.
He has to. As soon as the pit window opens, Dean's got to get in, repair that car. He is going to stay out of trouble. He is going to lose time, though. As DJ Phil, a little wiggle through there. As Little Leach has managed to get past JM Grill. Is JM Grill going to send it back on the inside? No, he thinks better of it. So has Little Leach done that clean? JM Grill makes contact with Little Leach. Ooh, he gets out of that straight away, knowing that he was making contact with the back of that Audi. And the Audi lives to fight another
I tell
day.
you what,
All these
Dan.
guys are too busy fighting with one another.
I tell you what, Dan, the undercut race one worked, so depending on how quick Dean's damage repairs, he's not out this race for a couple extra places in this one, especially with the amount of squabbles that these guys are having on track at the moment.
Yeah, well, like I said, at the rate these guys are going, they are going to lose out to Smithy, who's just pulling away on his own. No issues, so he can keep going. DJ Phil in second, Little Leach third, JM Grill fourth. All these guys coming in through the sector there as Holty is the first man in. He is getting his pit stop done and out the way.
That's not a bad tactic from Holty, clearly realising that the undercut worked in race 1, going for it in race 2. I'll be very surprised if this man doesn't come in, and in he comes now. Probably the earliest he's ever pitted, Dan.
It is the earliest he's ever pitted, and DJ Phil is now having to defend from Little Leach. He'll want to try and defend as much as he possibly can to help out his teammate Ukbar. Ukbar still not in those rapid lap times that we are used to seeing. And Smithy actually that last lap matching the guys behind him. So he's just weeding his way into this race, I think, as Welshie is... it's Little Leach has gone round.
He has gone round, so on the back of DJ Phil, now having to stare at the back of nobody because Bryn's gone up the road from him. Holty's out the pits, Dean's on his way out the pits. I tell you what, that's not a long stop from Dean Wysocki, so he could get some places back in this race. We saw the undercut work in race 1. Don't count him out of a few places in this second race. Ukbar then up into 4th with JM Grill now on the podium after Little Leach has made another mistake in this race. And once again, Dan, Ukbar has passed another driver without even having to overtake him on the track.
Ukbar, like I said, just taking his time, making his way through the pack. He knows that when he gets to DJ Phil, won't be too much of a difficult challenger to get past. But nonetheless, DJ Phil wants a good race here. He's had an opportunity he had given to him, where most of these guys are making mistakes. So when there's no cars here as well, you've got to take these opportunities by the scruff of the neck, and Ukbar here stuck behind the back of JM Grill. JM Grill seems to be a very good defender. He's able to put the car in the right places, and that Mercedes seems very difficult to get past. As JM Grill now catching onto the back of DJ Phil.
He is indeed.
Down through the final sector.
One thing I'm noting here, Dan, is Smithy has really gapped DJ Phil this lap. Bryn's got past Welshie, we didn't see that one, but Smithy has really gapped DJ Phil this lap, about a second and a bit. So I wonder if DJ Phil's playing the team game here and just tactically backing JM Grill into Ukbar, but JM Grill is going to think, you know what? You want to play them games? I'm going to bail to the pit lane and try and undercut you.
Yep, so JM Grill into the pits. DJ Phil going very wide there, and Ukbar just on the background of his teammate, but in the back as well is Bryn and Welshie. Welshie went wide and lost grip and traction, so he's going to be under pressure from Bryn here as Bryn comes up to turn 1. As Ukbar's already got past DJ Phil.
I don't know if that was a send it from Welshie because he was behind Bryn. I don't know if it was a send it that he's gone too deep on, and that's how he's got past Bryn in the end. Not too sure about that, but Bryn was in front before the Istanbul corner. Right, so Welshie then back ahead of Bryn. Little each into the pits at the end of lap 6 as well, and Dean just coming around the final at the end of lap 5. Sorry, Dean just coming into the final couple of corners. Little each still stationary. Did he hit something? Did he hit something? Hit the pit. He's hit the pit wall. Dan, in the chat, he's hit the pit wall.
Oh my god. JM Grill has come out and he's lost out to Holty here. So JM Grill, the undercut is working. Holty has jumped.
Yeah.
JM Grill there. So how long does Smithy leave it now? His teammates in the pits. How long is Little Leach? He's finally got going. So will Smithy now think, right, here's my opportunity. While there's no one behind me, let's get into the pits. As Ukbar has now been released. He's got 7.3 seconds to catch Smithy now, who's leading this race.
Surely you'd use your head and undercut the other guys in front. Bryn now back up to P4 after his earlier spin. He's up to P4. Yes, JM Grill, Holty, Dean and Little Each have all pitted, but he's up to P4 and on the back of DJ Phil. And DJ Phil trying to come across Bryn under the brakes, and Bryn has to take an even tighter line. They somehow don't make contact there, and DJ Phil just got to watch it. Oh, a bit of a tap up the rear from Bryn, but later on the brakes. DJ Phil's just got to watch that, and Bryn's got to watch his braking later. Again, look, just moving under the braking there from Phil, just ever so slightly.
As DJ Phil does run wide, that's going to give Bryn an opportunity on the outside of the Istanbul section. But I don't think he's going to get the job done here. It's going to take a lot for him to do that, but DJ Phil runs wide and Bryn's in the wall.
Yeah, DJ Phil pushing wide. You saw Bryn right on and off the throttle there. Reverses into the path of nobody.
He's into the pit.
As manages to get that out of everybody's way, but that has really cost him. Smithy then in the pits at the end of lap 6. So when does Ukbar decide to pit? Not this lap because he takes the lead. I think Welshie's in. Yes, he is.
Well, she is into the pits. All these guys coming in, as will Bryn. Bryn's coming into the pits also. Sorry, I'm just making a few notes here and there. Being one of the stewards, I need to know.
Oh, look at Bryn compromising himself there, Dan. On pit entry, got a time penalty. Remember race 1, he was so slow on the entry into the pits there, and that is terrible for Bryn there. Terrible look. JM Grill's going to get past. What's happened to Holty? Because he's dropped back from JM Grill, so he's had a mistake somewhere.
Yeah, has had a mistake across the line now. What is lap time? Is it? He's on his actual lap himself. 2:19. He was actually slower than his outlap. So JM Grill has got ahead. Smithy has a lovely gap to JM Grill right now. It's 10 seconds back to JM Grill. So at the minute, Smithy is looking good. The man who's going to be hunting him down now is this man, Ukbar, who's done a 2:08.4 that last lap.
Was just about to say.
In clean air.
Was absolutely flying on the last run, and he's in that clean air, he's in that good space that he wants. He's took his time, he's patiently waited. Dean, after Bryn's mishaps with DJ Phil, has got past Bryn as well. So Dean gaining 2 places out of the misfortune. I think he spun though, because there's a stopped white dot, and Bryn goes past Dean Wisocki, and at the same place he lost it earlier on. Dean's had another moment, so all that good fortune of race 1 is not going his way in race 2. Holty trying to get on the back of Welshie after Welshie's pit stop. JM Grill potentially a net second place at the minute.
At the minute, yeah, but he's got to try and keep the pressure on the likes of DJ Phil, Ukbar as well. So these guys all looking to come into the pits yet. So we're still waiting for Ukbar, DJ Phil, and I think that's it.
That is it. Now, this is going to be interesting because when do the teammates pit? Can't pit on the same lap. So when do they pit? 21 people watching the stream, 13 likes. Guys, girls, hit that thumbs up button as Ukbar comes in at the end of lap 7. Don't forget to join Dan Davis and Jamie Brazier tomorrow night for the Pro Series round Kota. What an interesting fight that could be, as DJ Phil will inherit the race lead. Now then, where is Smithy compared to Ukbar's pit stop? Oh, Smithy's going to take Ukbar's position here.
Yeah, but how quick is Ukbar's pit stop?
Good stop.
He's in and he's out. So good stop from him. Smithy's into the final corner. Ukbar is going to be relatively close, not miles away. I reckon about 5, maybe 6 seconds behind Smithy.
Yeah, pretty similar to what it was when Smithy pitted. It was 7 seconds when Smithy pitted. I reckon we'll be around that. Look, Ukbar, you can see on the right-hand side of your screen, off the limiter now. Might even be closer than 5 seconds, to be fair. We'll have to see when the timing screen starts to work itself out. But at the minute, Smithy, net leader of this race. DJ Phil, the only man to pit, as the gap does work itself out. It's 4.5 seconds, Dan. So Ukbar has done the business on his in-laps to bring that gap down to Smithy. Oh, well,
He's just dropped it. He's managed to keep it out the wall, and out the wall he does. So he just needs to select reverse gear. Is he going to stay ahead of Bryn? He should do so. So Welshie is having a horrid Kota, and he's looking forward to leave here. I'm pretty sure of that. But DJ Phil now leads his race. Now his teammates been into the pits. He can get in, serve his pit stop, and get going again. Reminder here, though, Matt. Ukbar did say his car does not seem to like the dirty air whatsoever. So, with that in mind, Smithy, if he just keeps his car on track, keep it in the right position, Ukbar will struggle in the dirty air.
We saw how long it took Ukbar to pass Dean in race 1. It took for Dean to pit before Ukbar got past him. We saw how long it took Ukbar to get through this pack in this race, Dan. So we're going to see how long it takes Ukbar to get past Smithy. The gap's still at 4 seconds. He'll be able to see Smithy now as Smithy hunts down his teammate. The question is, Phil doesn't have to pit until lap 13. Does Phil kind of help Ukbar out in this situation by pitting late and falling into Smithy's clutches? Does he kind of help his teammate out here?
The thing is, though, DJ Phil would give away a good opportunity for points himself.
That's the problem.
He's in a very good position right now. So is it team points or is it just single driver points?
Only DJ Phil and Ukbar will know the team tactics. He's staying out for another lap, and Smithy 9 seconds off the back of him. He's going to want to get close. Ukbar's 2.6, so Ukbar reeling Smithy in now, Dan. He's closed 2 seconds up this lap alone. So Ukbar really bringing the gap down to Smithy, as DJ Phil's going to come to the line, a 2:12.3, so not rapid from DJ Phil. I wonder if Smithy's made a mistake or two. This is Ukbar's out lap, let's not forget. Yeah, look, Smithy, a 2:16, is that? No, a 2:10, so not bad lap time from Smithy. Ukbar, a 2:15 is his out lap, so that's not bad for an out lap from Ukbar, and the gap down to 2.2 seconds. Meanwhile, JM Grill, currently P4, a net third potentially, and Holty maybe a net fourth. Welshie, Bryn, Dean and Little each, they're going to be the ones that have got to work hard now if they want to jump DJ Phil when he pits.
Yeah, it's all down to DJ Phil when he decides to come in. DJ Phil actually lapping his best in Sector 1 there. He's actually finding time. Smithy, though, I think has lost a lot of time through the S's as Ukbar has brought that gap down to less than a second. Ukbar is flying right now. So Ukbar, it will catch onto the back of that Audi, but it's going to take him a while, we think, because that Ginetta just doesn't like the dirty air.
Yeah.
Smithy just has to run his race. He just needs to focus on what he's doing.
He does indeed, and we've seen Ukbar in the past where he's just maybe got a bit too eager to get past. This race at the minute, what we saw race 1, he's done absolutely perfect. What he needs to do is a bit more of that and wait for Smithy. Let's not forget, Ukbar's not passed a driver in this race, bar DJ Phil, who we think was team orders to let Ukbar through. Everybody else Ukbar's passed has been them spinning on their own. You see the Ginetta just doesn't have the straight line speed of the Audi. Smithy still indecisive on the brakes into the hairpin. And Ukbar here really starting to gain on Smithy, but patiently waiting at the minute, Dan, because there was no... Maybe would have expected a lunge from Ukbar there. I just think even he knows he's the quickest man out there tonight and is unstoppable. Patience is his game look.
Yeah, it is his game, but Smithy seems to be getting a good traction, so he seems to be getting good runs out of the corner. It's not like Smithy is driving too vigorously at the minute. He's keeping it under control. Ukbar is the man who's got the pace. He just needs to be smart about this. He knows he can win this race. He's got plenty of laps still to do it, so it's up to him. And they're not really catching DJ Phil either, so DJ Phil is not being hampered by this, as Dean and Little each are relatively close. So Ukbar, I don't think has the overall right speed in a straight line, but definitely through Maggotts and Beckett, he's a lot faster than Little League.
He is indeed.
Sorry,
Not really an overtaking spot, though, so he's going to have to play it safe. Driver of the day poll has gone up. Ukbar, Smithy, Dean Wysocki or JM Grill. All your options as Smithy's gone very deep at turn 1. Ukbar, though, still can't find a way past. And we say, look again, just patiently waiting here. Oh, what's happened to Bryn?
Bryn has dropped to the rear. I don't know if he's got damage to that car. Looks okay, but nonetheless, we will go back to these two. And the dirty air is where Ukbar's going to be struggling. This is where the car will be unhappy, and he's offline. He's not in the best position. Smithy is just taking his line as the car looks a little bit glitchy. I don't know if that's my side, but I don't know about yours.
Nah, it seems fine on my end.
Yeah, it must be me then. But nonetheless, literally, Smithy there just having to be smart here. Ukbar is going to have to send it down the inside. Is Smithy going to fight this or let him go? He's letting him go. Smithy here wanting a podium, I think, as the cameraman is terrible.
He gets a better exit though, Dan. Yeah, he gets a better exit. Again, the traction of that Audi compared to the Ginetta. The cameraman meant that we couldn't see how far Ukbar, if Ukbar went deep or not. And we just look at Smithy. He's just slowly, every time he has to straighten that car up, he's losing. In fact, he's backed out of it there. Yeah, he's backed out of it. So, and he's braking very early compared to Ukbar, look. And Ukbar, then you have to say now, is well on his way.
Yeah, looks like Ukbar is going to take another race win by the looks of things. Smithy, I think he just wants a podium. He just wants to make up for what happened last season. Obviously, ain't got Leon Fernie to take that away from me tonight. But Smithy just wants a podium, I think. The race win will come eventually. But Smithy driving a very sensible race here and gaining the points for the team. Because he knows Little Leach at this stage isn't gaining the points that we need for the championship, as JM Grill is now under pressure from Holty.
He is indeed. Welshie 2:13 last lap. Dean 3 seconds quicker. That gap is 5 seconds. So we'll see if Dean can start to reel in Welshie then. You look at Bryn's last lap time with Little Leach. Both of them matching that of the pace of Ukbar. DJ Phil comes across to do his best lap of the race, a 2:10.4. Still hasn't pitted yet. You feel that Phil's going to come out between Holty and Dean Wysocki. Not that he's going to be close to Dean Wysocki. Sorry, Holty and Welshie, apologies. Oh, Dean, a bit of a wiggle on the exit of the corner, and Little Leach nearly runs into the back of him. And Dean, I think, is going to have to let Little Leach go. He's going to try and hang it around the outside here. I tell you what, that's a brave move to try and stay around the outside. If he can keep a nose up the inside, is he going to look to send it into the penultimate? No, patiently waits for that. But he just had a wiggle down out the corner, which gave Little Leach that sniff of an opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. So Dean is just seems to be struggling now. Maybe the tyres have overheated, and now he's in a race with another car. Maybe he's starting to get a little bit over his head and trying to push a little bit too hard than the Mercedes can actually handle. Holty still within that 1 second gap of JM Grill. These two going through the Maggotts and Beckett section, and they just seem to be trading lap times at the minute.
And these two raced
a little bit quicker.
These two raced each other in race 1, where towards the end of the race, these two cars seem to just die off at the end, and so that's how Smithy seemed to get past and away. They're 13 seconds off the back of Smithy. Smithy's not even in this battle with these two at the minute, so these two just fighting for, I reckon, that final podium place, because I reckon JM Grill and Holty will both jump DJ Phil in the pits. Welshie, though, needs to get a wiggle on. He's managed to gap Little Leach by a couple of seconds once again. That is now 4.9 seconds to Little Leach, but him and Dean and Bryn slowly coming. Lap 11 of 14 then. Don't forget to get your votes in for Driver of the Day. Hit that thumbs up button if you like what you see here. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Hit the bell to be notified. If you want to get involved in the Pro Am series, obviously there is some free spaces. Do go to Discord or Facebook or Twitter and get in touch with us here at Simplay Motorsport. All the links are in the description and are on our page. Also, if you like what you see, then tune in tomorrow night where Dan Davis and Jamie Brazier will be bringing you all the action of the pros around COTA. 15 cars on the grid, all looking to battle it out. And then Sunday night, Dan Davis is long and fantastic journey on F1. We need to make sure you all tune in on Sunday and give Dan a massive round of applause, because he's done a mega job to bring you every race of the season, 100% races, where at times they've been a bit dull because of lack of drivers on the grid. Make sure you come in and give Dan your full support in the chat and everything on Sunday night. The final race of the season. Can Ferrari get third? Can Jamie and Gary get some final places themselves, as well as a few other drivers? That is the biggest question. But in this race, Dan, Holty is losing out to JM Grill at the minute.
Yeah, JM Grill, I think it's just seemed to look after his tyres a bit better. DJ Phil's still yet to pit. It's either this lap or the next lap. He is left to get his pit stop done out the way. Ukbar really hasn't actually disappeared too far away from Smithy. Smithy has managed to just keep him in sight. So if Ukbar does push a bit too hard or anything does happen, he's still within that reach as Bryn is now caught onto the back of Dean Wasocki as they now start lap 13 here at Simplay Motorsport.
Lap 12.
So they're starting lap 12. I'm reading DJ Phil. So yeah, DJ Phil has only got a couple more laps left to do this, and so far, if he comes out the pits, he's looking at possibly 5th or 6th place at this precise stage.
Yeah, Welsh needs to get a wiggle on if he's to get onto the back of DJ Phil, but this is provided that DJ Phil has no mistakes and has a stop to remember. We said the undercut was the best stop of the night, and you have to say at the minute that DJ Phil is running the long game. It kind of worked for Dean in race 1, giving him that podium. DJ Phil, though, is going to drop all the way to 5th place, you're imagining this, meaning that JM Grill, who has got Holty gaining on the back of him once again, I think that gap's just over a second, although JM Grill has gapped Holty a little bit there. Bryn, though...
You know what?
Go on.
Between these two, it just seems to be ebbing and flowing a little bit.
It is ebbing and flowing. Good use of your words there, Dan. But Bryn, on the back of his teammate of last season, 8th and 9th at the minute, as they come down to the hairpin. They've got Little Each just in front of them, and Little Each is catching Welshie. And you're right about ebbing and flowing. These two are really trying to get the bit between their teeth and catch one another, but they're changing lap times, like Dan said. And look at Bryn here. Really reeling Dean. I think Dean's got aero damage.
He possibly has. I think he's hit the ball and Bryn straight down the inside as the cameraman is awful here. And I wish I'd never changed it, but Bryn has gone ahead of Dean.
Yeah, job done. Dean with a lot of damage, it would seem, to the front of his car, because he's just got no straight line speed. Welshie gaining on the back of Little Each gaining on the back of Welshie, and DJ Phil has got to pit this lap, otherwise it'll be a disqualification for himself.
Yeah, it will be indeed. He'll have to come into the pits on this lap, as Holty's still trying to catch JM Grill. And you know that ebbing and flowing quote? Do you know where I learned that from, Matthew Duffin?
Two of the best commentators you've ever listened to.
I learned it from Martin Brundle on the Monaco Grand Prix over the weekend.
I did hear him say that, and I thought...
He said it twice as well.
I thought he's been listening to Simplay Motorsport, been listening to Sweet and Sticky in your box.
Well, you know he's... Wait, what? Excuse me? We haven't had Sweet and Sticky in your box for ages.
No, but he's been listening, been binge-watching it.
Possibly so, but we do know that Martin Brundle is a regular viewer. I thought I'd do a Kelly there and obviously reference that most of the F1 drivers do tend to watch us for tips.
Yeah.
And if so, Jensen Button, will you please respond to my text? Like, I've been waiting for ages to hear from you, and you still haven't messaged me back. Like, what's going on?
We've also had to turn down Jensen Button for a seat on the Pro Am. We just didn't think he was quick enough.
Well, I've been trying so hard to get in contact with him because obviously he's got that McLaren GT3 car, and I've been constantly pestering him, and I've been promoting McLaren so much last season, you know, and I'm like, where's my drive? Come on.
Where is your drive? Exactly. But Bryn, has he made a mistake to it? Because he looked like he had the pace over Dean, has just fell back into the clutches of Dean here. And look, that straight line speed just seems to be hurting Dean Wasocki. So Bryn needs a good penultimate and final lap if he's to pull away from Dean. But Dean just struggling in a straight line. Little Each up front and Welshie, they can see them. But they're not getting any closer, although Little Each is getting closer to the back. JM Grill and Holty, that gap is still 1.3 seconds and has been for majority of this race. DJ Phil now enters the pit lane and comes in at the end of lap 13. So everybody is now pitted. And this, DJ Phil should come out around 5th place, we reckon. So Ukbar will go on to the final lap, leading this race. Could do the London buses tonight.
Depends how quick DJ Phil's pit stop is. If it's relatively quick,
nah,
these two trip over one another.
Yeah, if they do at the last corner.
He's off.
Well, he's definitely going to be 4th because JM Grill's got around the corner. He's definitely going to be 5th because Holty's got around the corner.
I don't know. If anything can still happen towards the end of this race. You know that.
Oh, no, yeah. The race isn't over. I just mean he's going to come out the pits in 5th place.
Yeah, I know. But nonetheless, he has jumped Welshie by quite a distance. So DJ Phil's going very long as Holty goes very wide. Has really benefited DJ Phil here with going that much longer. He's now in 5th place position. A great result. He really seems to be doing quite well in this Ginetta this season. Yeah,
seems to be settling in that Ginetta as Little Each is on the back of Welshie and Dean's trying to get on the back of Bryn as the cameraman fails to pick up the race leader Ukbar coming down the back end of the circuit for the final time tonight. You've got a final couple of moments to get your voting for driver of the day. It'll be ending in a couple of moments time. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Little Each show has one lap to get past Welshie here.
Well,
and Dean's
will be glad I think Welsh will be glad to see the back end of this circuit. He will want to leave here as quickly as possible, leave in Texas as soon as possible, so that he can get his flight off to Belgium and heading to Zolder for the next round of the championship.
I think if he wants to come back to Texas, it might be the Texas road course, because the Texas track of COTA hasn't been his best friend here. He defends up the inside of Lidl-Leach. This is really hurting Lidl-Leach in the championship, although his closest rival, Bryn, they both have a wiggle, and Lidl-Leach somehow manages to get past. Lidl-Leach's closest rival, Bryn's only 8th, but this, with Lidl-Leach and Bryn 6th and 8th, really helps Ukbar out, who's coming towards the penultimate corner now, Dan, and you have to say yet again, it's been a class victory from this man.
Ukbar has now put himself back into this championship fight here tonight, and possibly to get himself in the pro. That is the goal. Ukbar, what a Dutch domination.
Dutch domination indeed. He takes the London buses, or whatever they're called, back in Holland, but he takes a pair of wins tonight. This man, Smithy, gets the fans' vote for driver of the day, and a second place. He comes away with 33 points tonight, which is a lot more than his teammate. This is the closest these have been for a while, but it looks like JM Grill is going to hang on in there for that final podium spot, as Holty has done what he's done all night and just outbraked himself into the corner and goes a bit deep. But a third place for JM Grill. Another podium. He's had 4 podiums this year, so another one to add to the tally. Holty with a P4. DJ Phil, great result for a 5th place for him. And then it's about Welsh, who's got back in front of Lidl-Leach then somewhere.
Yeah, it's got back in front of Lidl-Leach, just drops it on the rear there. He's just going to hang in there, just stay on track. So Welshie pips him at the end for 6th place, 7th for Lidl-Leach. Bryn is going to come home for 8th place position, and Dean bringing up the rear. And sadly, we lost Shane at the beginning of this race. But Matt, the main story here tonight has been the Dutch domination from this man. Ukbar, the Flying Dutchman, has properly been flying here tonight, and I think he's put a little bit of pressure on the pros to say, look, that's what I've managed to do in the Ginetta. What can you do? He
takes the fastest lap as well, so a clean sweep for Ukbar in tonight's race. Pole position, 2 fastest laps, 2 race wins. And I agree with you, Dan. He has been so dominant. The Dutch domination has been mega. The question is, can he keep this form up in the season? Let's get Smithy and hopefully JM Grill in for a quick chat at the end as well. Hopefully Ukbar will join back. But that is your final classifications tonight. Smithy rounds out the night with a podium and gets your fans' driver of the day. Me and Dan will give our final thoughts on our driver of the day a little later on, but I think it's a bit obvious on who me and Dan are going to go for. The championship, though, looks like this. Lidl-Leach, 22 points clear a bit. Bryn, 28 points clear of Ukbar. So Ukbar really bringing himself back into contention. Holty up to 4th with JM Grill 5th. Welshie 6th, and Dean Wysocki had that chance of being in the top 4 by the end of tonight. He's dropped 2 places, back down to 7th place. He goes. Lucas Roth is down in 8th, with Smithy up to 9th now with DJ Phil in 10th. Stealth Sloth 11th. Bozzy Boy in 12th. The rest yet to score. Pick a Mix Motorsport, though, 29 points clear of Terminal Velocity Racing in 2nd place. Teletubby Motorsport are 40 behind in 3rd. MC Motorsport down in 4th, with Super Crash Bros in 5th. My Mate Racing still ahead of Getting Quicker, My Mate, by some 9 points. And we've got Ukbar in. I think we're just waiting for Smithy and JM Grill. What that also means is that is the Ginetta's 5th race win, and it is now tied with the Renault for 5 race wins apiece, and that is also Ukbar's 3rd race win here at Simplay Motorsport, putting him up the list once again and putting him in the category of 3 race wins apiece, with a few other drivers who thoroughly deserve their 3 wins. I'm just trying to find them now. Falguest, Welsh, Emo Guy, NJ, Phil, DJ Phil, Xmart, D Biggs, and obviously Ukbar himself onto his 3rd race win, I do believe. Yep. No, he's on 4 race wins, apologies. So Ukbar on 4 race wins with Nicky and Rabbit Joe there for him. Then we've got Smithy and no JM Grill yet, so we will start then with Smithy. And Smithy, you've really carried the team tonight, a 4th and a 2nd place.
Oh, that was a nice track. I don't know what happened to Lidl-Leach in the 2nd race.
Really had some good pace tonight. Back on the pad?
Yeah, I was on the pad, 100%.
You seem like that you're back on the pad and back to your glory days. Obviously, the commiserations of last season when you lost that podium at Alton Park. This has got to make up for that moment.
Yeah, I was lucky because I did come together with JMG at the beginning somewhere, so I'm not sure what will happen with that.
Got to be happy with your performance, though, tonight. It's been a real good display from yourself in terms of taking some good points.
It's been steady performance, which is what I'd like to do, be steady each race.
You go to. Did you think at some point tonight you could have had the race win?
Nah, not with the speed of Ugbar.
You go next week to the track that you chose and the track you took your first and only win, Zolder. That you've kind of come into some good form at the right time then. If you go into a track you enjoy.
Well, hopefully. I can't really remember it. I remember it being wet.
Bit of a rain dance for next week then.
I don't know. I'm getting the hang of this Audi at the moment, so I can stay dry for another race.
What is the plans for next week, Smithy? What can you look to do next time out?
Probably practice on my own again without my teammate.
And finally, which teammate was better?
There's only one teammate.
Well, well done tonight. Well done on your second and your fourth place. You did get the fans' driver of the day.
Oh, lush. Much appreciated.
So well done on that one. And we've got Ukbar in as well. And the Dutch domination, I think, is what me and Dan are calling it tonight. Ukbar, that was just class.
Yeah, thanks. This makes it even better. So to win, so I'm very happy. Yeah.
28 points off the championship lead now. You've really brought yourself back into contention for this championship.
Yeah, we got 8 tracks to go, so a lot can happen, and I'm going. Yeah, my goal is to close the gap and get past it.
You and DJ Phil as well, picking up some good points tonight, closing the gap in the constructors to 29. That's got to be a good feeling for yourself to bring that gap down there as well.
Yeah. It sure does. Phil did an awesome job too. We're going strong. I think.
We go to Zolder next week. What can you do around there?
Home track. No.
I like Zolder. I have tried the Ginetta before at Zolder, and I think I can be pretty fast.
Well, we hope to see a bit more of this Dutch domination next week, buddy. Congratulations on tonight. Dan, final thoughts from yourself?
All I'm going to say is that the Pro Am had a relatively clean night, so
great.
You know what that normally means.
Yeah.
Well, nonetheless, it's been great racing from all the guys. If we're going to go with driver of the day, I'm going to give it to Ukbar. As Smithy's dominated the fans, I'm going to give it to Ukbar. He has just been on another level tonight. He has been showing pro pace here this evening, and I'm going to give my vote to Ukbar. But nonetheless, all the drivers have had their good moments, but one man who definitely has not had his best moment is Welshie, and he will be looking forward to getting out of this track. I'm looking forward to the pros tonight. Can they handle the heat? I'm going to double check the weather, but by the looks of things, it's still looking relatively hot. A bit of thunderstorms lurking around, but nonetheless, is it all cleared up now?
Yeah,
they check every hour.
Yeah, they've gone.
So they're going to be all on track. The Mercedes seem to be struggling. Will the Audi, Lamborghinis, and the rest of the other chassis cars, will the BMW do very around here? We will see tomorrow night. But nonetheless, Matt, it's been great racing here for the Pro-Am Dakota. I've not written much in my notebook, so that's good as well. But nonetheless, it's going to be a good night's worth of racing tomorrow night.
It is indeed. I'm going to give my vote to Ukbar as well for driver of the day. So he gets the clean sweep in the commentators box for driver of the day. The Dutch domination and the GOAT taking the podium places tonight. What's going to happen next week as we head to Zolder then? Make sure you tune in. Dan Davis and Jamie Brazier will be live tomorrow night, 8 p.m. BST for the Pro. And make sure you tune in Sunday night. Come and give Dan your full support as he takes on, as he commentates the final race of the season in the F1. Championships wrapped up there, but can other drivers get some final places in that one? Tuesday night next week, we head to Silverstone National for the touring cars. Can Dan get his first win? Doubt it. But Gary 131 might well dominate once again. And then next Wednesday, it is Zolder, the track that Smithy picked and the track that the GOAT might dominate at. We'll see you next time. Good night.
Good night.
Oh dear, Smithy's carried Little Leach all night.
Yeah, boy, team points.
Well done, Smithy.
Smithy, you're just too fucking good, you are, mate.
I had two lucky, well, not lucky races, but
Look
I
at
was
that,
steady.
look at that
That
setup I
race
gave you
one.
Monday night, wasn't it? I don't let you down, you see.
That race 1 was very. Sorry, that start of that race 2 was very controlled. It was not luck. That was controlled. That was.
Well, I come together with JM, whatever his name is, at the last corner.
I have noted it.
Once as
I
bad as
don't know
Little
if I
Leach on
recorded
Welsh, you
it.
mate.
I recorded race 1, but I don't know.
Just do it now. Hit share. Share, save video clip.
I can't, can I? Because I'm not on the screen.
You're on the home screen.
Yeah.
Ah.
I had to accept the invite to the party. I clicked save replay at the end of the race, but I don't know if that does the same thing.
Jesus
No,
Christ.
I've got the replay.
Pro
The night race start then.
Pro Imola Pro Am Imola last week is Simplay's most watched video. 521 views. It's got more than the Silverstone World Endurance, which was 487.
I'm going to review it, Smithy, but if JM Grill doesn't put anything in, then I might not waste too much time on it.
The Little Leach Welshie one was awful, though, Dan. I'd look at that one.
I can't be the talk of the night again, surely.
You didn't give the position back, so it's going to get reviewed.
Oh, more penalty points again.
I'll only lose second and go to third, though, when I will swap places, me and
Depends.
JMG.
It depends how close he is to another car. He might get a time penalty.
Alright. Fair play.
521 views. Fuck me. I'm finally going to have a poo.
Oh my
You know
god!
what, Smithy?
I fucking hope I hope them Scottish drivers turn up next week because that was fucking dull as dishwater, Dan.
I'll tell you what we were doing. Me and Matt were sitting there the whole time, sitting there hoping and praying that Dean would drop it towards the end of race 1.
I was trying to catch him.
You weren't catching him. You were flying.
You was quick, man.
Yeah.
You,
If I hadn't have spun in that race, I would have took third, probably.
you, Little Leach, and Ugbar were the only ones that were below the 210s.
Smithy, you know why, don't you?
In the 209s and the 208s.
The lap record at this track was set by an Acura in real life.
Fuck off.
So it suits your driving because of the car you was in last season, mate.
I hope you get screwed tomorrow night.
Oh, based on them Mercedes cars tonight, Dan, I am not looking forward to it even more now.
I'm intrigued to see how Overtaker gets on, because Welshie's Lamborghini didn't look happy either.
I tell you the best car around there tomorrow night.
Audi?
BMW.
I don't know, you know, Andy's very loose.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, what's he fucking said?
Well done, buddy. Good
Yeah,
race. Oh, God.
Where did he finish second race?
Last.
Oh.
Span, and then started to make up places after his pit stop and span in the same place.
Well, I thought, fuck, Holty's going to be quick because Fury's sent him a setup. No, fuck knows where he went.
I never got to say about my comment on that, but when people send other people's setups and they've not run it and they just throw it into the race, it doesn't shit. And
I used that setup I sent you practice on Monday, or that you did a lap on.
Yeah, I didn't want to tell you earlier, Smith. I didn't want to tell you earlier, but Dan did a 204 in that setup.
Nah.
Straight up,
No,
Dan
I'm not
did a
joking.
204 and said this setup is planted. Dan was trying to make the back end step out and he couldn't make the back end step out. And I thought, and you come on and you're like, oh, everybody's rapid. I thought, I'm not going to tell him that Dan did a 204. I don't want to sort of
Well, Leach said
overdrive the car.
I couldn't use it.
I made tweaks to it to make it quicker,
Yeah.
but like I made a handful of tweaks. And it, like, to be fair, your first setup, I said to Matt, this is a solid base. Like, I would use that for everything, and then make tweaks for that. You know?
Yeah. Well, that
It
was
was
the
like-
Imola race. I used it in the Imola.
Well, use that again, because
Yeah, I will.
that setup is ridiculous. It's
Yeah,
it's
so
very, very good.
That's all I used for when I raced the Porsche. I used the same setup every race.
Well, the thing was with that, right? I even told Matt, like, when we were I was fucking around with all cars, wasn't I? I was in the Ferrari, I was in the Audi, I was in the Lambo, I even went in the Merc. Now, the Lambo was the only car that I could get to run the curbs. I jumped in yours, and I was running it more than the Lambo was. So it is. Your setup is very, very soft, which is good because it's stable, it's balanced.
Yeah.
But other than that, like I said, like Matt said, I couldn't get it to spin. I couldn't drop it.